Fala galera, estamos aqui na seletiva do Aiga de São Paulo. Nossa luta vai ser a última luta do evento contra o time do Melk Galvão, Pirâmide Melk Galvão. A gente bolou uma estratégia legal aí, a galera tá super motivada com tudo aí pra...
Fala aí, Marcos. Chegamos aqui em São Paulo já. Academia aqui do Luiz de Luca, aqui na Real Parque. E a galera perdendo peso aí nos últimos instantes aí pra pesagem, né?
É isso aí, a gente veio conhecer, né? Finalmente a academia aqui do Luiz. Muito maneira, a estrutura super top. Pessoal super gente boa, estão ajudando a gente aí pra perder o peso aí, a galera daquela aquecida pós-viagem, né? Então tá sendo muito legal. Todo mundo aí já chegando, a maioria já chegou. Então eu acho que tá sendo muito bom, né? Consegui chegar bem. Várias histórias aí no aeroporto, fui de cadeira de rodas, eu nunca tinha feito essas coisas, né? Mas foi super de boa, achei que ia ser pior. Foi muito legal, a gente encontrou duas pessoas que trabalhavam no aeroporto, reconheceram a gente, elogiaram o trabalho também. Então agora finalmente chegamos aqui em São Paulo e nada melhor que estar aí com o Luiz aí pra ajudar a gente aí nessa reta final.
E aí, Luiz, como é que... Recebendo a galera, enfim, né? Conseguimos chegar aí.
Pô, finalmente, né? Pô, é uma honra. Acho que faz bastante tempo que eu acompanho o trabalho de vocês, principalmente do Marco. Acho que já faz algum tempo que eu acompanho. Tenho muitos amigos em comum e, na real, muitas indicações. Muita gente me fala muito de vocês, então é uma honra receber.
Na mesma chave aí pra lutar, mas...
Chegamos a ficar na mesma chave, quase rolou, mas não aconteceu, infelizmente. Um dia... Quem sabe? Mas é uma honra receber vocês aí e acho que, pô, força total pro Aiga. É isso, resumindo é isso.
Pô, espaço maneiro aí, cara.
Porra, obrigado, é nosso.
Tá bom demais. Agora vamos acompanhar aí os caras, perder o finalzinho aí do peso que eles têm. E é isso, depois tu corta essa parte aí comigo.
Porra.
Então vamos chamar aqui primeiro os atletas da equipe Andinos Grappling Team. Olá, primeiro atleta da categoria até 60 quilos, Thomas Rodrigues.
Henrique.
Atleta Thomas. Primeiro atleta, categoria até 60 quilos, Jonas Lisboa. 59 quilos, 800 gramas. 59.8 kilograms. Categoria até 65 quilos. Henrique Cordeiro. $63 quilos, 750 gramas. 63.75 kilograms. Categoria até 65 quilos. Bernardo Mastrangelo. $63 quilos, 900 gramas. 53.9 kilograms. Vamos ao próximo atleta da Pirâmide Grappling Association, categoria até 70 quilos, Rodrigo Braga. $69 quilos, 600 gramas, 69.6 kilograms. Próximo atleta, categoria até 70 quilos, Jonathan Machas. $69 quilos, 350 gramas, 69.35 kilograms. Próximo atleta, categoria até 76 quilos, Lucas de Queiroz. $75 quilos, 600 gramas, 75.6 kilograms. Dando sequência, a equipe de Pirâmide Grappling Association, categoria até 76 quilos, Samuel Rocha. $75 quilos, 750 gramas, 75.75 kilograms. Categoria agora até 83 quilos. Thiago. $82 quilos, 100 gramas, 82.1 kilograms. Dando sequência agora, categoria até 83 quilos, Fábio Christian.
Pouco.
$82 quilos, 950 gramas, 82.95 kilograms. Dando sequência ainda, a Pirâmide Grappling Association, categoria até 41 quilos, Eduardo Ricardo. $89 quilos, 600 gramas, 89.6 kilograms. Próximo atleta, categoria até 91 quilos, $90 quilos, 90 kilograms. kg. Próximo atleta, categoria acima de 91 quilos, Antônio Asser. E 132 quilos, 500 gramas, 132.5 kilograms.
Galocura, galocura!
Mas é só você depois vai fechar.
Fala galera, estamos aqui na seletiva do Aiga, de São Paulo. Chegamos aí, nossa luta vai ser a última luta do evento contra o time do Melk Galvão, Pirâmide Melk Galvão. A gente considera isso quase um clássico aqui já no Brasil, né? A gente sempre está disputando, né, os títulos, os dois times que mais chegam. Então esse é um evento muito legal, ele vai ter a premiação de $1 milhão, quem se classificar aqui e ir para o Cazaquistão. Então essa seletiva são 8 times, vão começando as quartas de final hoje. Se a gente ganha do time do Melk, hoje a gente está classificado para amanhã, que é a semi e a final. Então a gente vai focar hoje aí em fazer um bom trabalho, tentar se classificar. São 7 lutas e quem ganhar as 4 primeiras está classificado. Então a gente bolou uma estratégia legal aí, a galera tá super motivada e a gente vai com tudo aí para ter uma ótima performance e mostrar nosso trabalho diário aí que a gente vem fazendo no nosso time.
Fala galera, estamos aqui no Aiga, o time já está pronto lá, começando a dar uma aquecida e quero mostrar para vocês aí um pouco dos bastidores do evento, tudo que está acontecendo. Então vamos lá, acompanha aí. Nós já estamos aqui o evento começou por volta de 16 horas, agora já são perto aí de umas 9, pouca da noite. Hoje é o primeiro dia, né? Então vamos à eliminatória aqui agora com o time da Melk Galvão. Então deixa eu mostrar para vocês aqui um pouco dos bastidores, a equipe já tá aquecendo. A outra eliminatória, que são dos times que avançando e nós avançando, também iremos pegar, já está acontecendo ali, o Marco tá acompanhando lá e quero mostrar para vocês aqui um pouquinho de como é o backstage, de como o pessoal tá aquecendo. Lá. Já temos aí, ó. Já temos aí mais uma vitória de finalização da outra equipe aí. Então tá 1 a 1, né? Já tava ali, o time da VOOK tinha ganho a primeira e agora o time da Aliança ganhou o segundo. Então chega aí para mostrar para vocês aqui um pouco do time do Kazai também, que acabou de vencer, né, a primeira eliminatória. O pessoal tá saindo aí. Chega aí, vamos lá. Aí, ó, time já quase completo aí, ó, a CF tá chegando, o pessoal já tá dando aquecida. Lucas, chega aí, Lucas. Chega aí. Lucas, o nosso capitão, né, tá aí pronto aí para os desafios. Conta um pouquinho aí de como é que tá sendo aqui o backstage, a galera já dando aquela aquecida.
Let's go. Galera, a energia aqui tá bem maneira, galera bem unida. Porra, sem dúvida a gente vai performar com tudo lá. Tem uma galera muito forte já se preparando aqui. Lá o Samuel, o Braga ajudando o Samuel a aquecer, Fabiuri, galera toda aqui se concentrando. Se Deus quiser a gente vai performar muito bem hoje, vai se classificar para amanhã e a gente chega lá com esse resultado positivo.
E acabou de chegar aqui, ó, a cefada. Aí. E aí, a CF, como é que tá aí? Expectativa para daqui a pouquinho?
Pronto para entregar o melhor ali, poder ajudar meu time a sair com a vitória hoje, classificar para amanhã. É um evento atípico, né? Estamos lutando quase de madrugada, mas estamos preparados para fazer a força.
Vambora. Já tem 2 finalizações já no terceiro. Então daqui a pouquinho vai ser chamado. Tá 1 a 1, por enquanto tá 1 a 1. Chega aí, Fábio. Fabiuri também, aqui tá escrito aí a categoria até 83 quilos. preparado aí para dar o apoio no time agora no dia de hoje e amanhã sair para briga, né? Conta um pouquinho aí de como é que tá aí a expectativa aí pro evento.
Cara, a expectativa pro evento tá bem grande, né? A gente caiu bem chaveado, com certeza é uma chave boa para brigar. Eu acho que se você quer chegar no lugar mais alto, você tem que tirar os melhores. Então nosso time está bem entrosado, a gente teve uma preparação boa lá na Pirâmide, todo mundo tá em sintonia. A gente já teve uma conversa hoje mais cedo, vamos deixar o coração aqui na frente e mostrar que aqui dentro é uma coisa só, é jiu-jitsu e quem quer mais, né? Então a gente está cheio de vontade aí, vamos performar bastante aí e sem dúvidas nenhuma vamos estar amanhã nas finais.
Boa. Braguinha, chega aí, Braguinha. Braguinha também, bom, quem não conhece o Braguinha aí tá perdendo. Pô, atleta de judô de altíssimo nível aí, nosso professor de judô também na Pirâmide, desenvolveu aí um método do judô no gi, né, que é uma inovação e pô, um dos melhores do mundo aí nesse sistema e também está aqui no time aqui da Pirâmide no Aiga. Fala aí, Braguinha. Conta um pouquinho aí como é que tá aí o coração pro evento aí.
Porra, a ansiedade batendo a mil, desde que a gente soube que a gente ia teve o convite, né, para poder lutar o Aiga, todo mundo já se predispôs a trabalhar bastante aí nos bastidores. Então, primeiramente, imensamente feliz em estar aqui. E aí a galera tá ansiosa, todo mundo já, como pode ver, aquecendo, ativando um pouco. E daqui a pouco tem guerra. Na minha concepção, a gente é um dos times favoritos para poder ganhar. E agora a gente vai mostrar tudo isso lá no tatame daqui a pouquinho, beleza? Tamo junto. Ei.
Pô, e não poderia deixar de chamar aqui, pô, grande exemplo aí do time. Danilão, pô, meu professor lá na Pirâmide, sempre me ajudando bastante aí em muitas coisas e aceitou um desafio aí incrível de topar. Conta um pouquinho de quantos quilos você veio, quantos quilos que você bateu, em quanto tempo. E aí, como é que tá aí o coração aí pra luta?
O pessoal lá me chamaram, o Pedro, o Marco, me convocaram, né? Assim, meio que eu sempre estou preparado para lutar qualquer evento, mas tinha uma categoria nova de peso, eu estava com 102 quilos, tive que baixar para 91 aí em 4 semanas. Se esforçou, deu certo, estamos aqui agora, pronto para a batalha, pronto para a guerra, ajudar o time e bem confiante.
E é isso. Bom, daqui a pouquinho a gente já está entrando aí no tatame. Sei que vocês vão assistir isso aí depois da luta, mas espero que vocês vão ver aí o show que a gente vai dar, que a gente deu, na verdade. E vambora. É isso. E estamos aqui, Marco tá dando uma olhada aqui nas lutas aí dos possíveis adversários, né? Como é que tá aí, Marco? Tá em qual luta?
Tá na quinta, eu tô perdido aqui já, mas o Aliança tem que ganhar essa luta porque eles estão perdendo, tem que ganhar as próximas, todas as lutas tem que ganhar. Então, até agora, quem tá ganhando é o time da VOOK, né? E o Antônio tá perdendo. Então, vamos ver. É tudo baseado, né? É bom ver as lutas para ver mais ou menos como eles estão lutando atualmente e aí poder traçar uma estratégia em cima disso, né? Se a gente passar hoje, claro, mas já é bom estar vendo. Essa é a vantagem de não estar lutando, não preciso ficar me concentrando 100% na luta, não preciso me concentrar para lutar, na verdade, né? Então eu fico exclusivamente no scout e funciona bem pra caramba também.
E aí, como é que tá aí? Dá uma panorama aí, qual a luta que tá aí?
Essa aí é a quinta, né?
Até 83 quilos, né?
Até 83, é o Calói e o Miguel Assis. E o Calói tá pegando as costas aqui. Sobrou, vai cair na 50.
É boa, dois caras duros, né?
Ah, sim, pô, o campeonato tá alto nível. Mas a gente tá preparado aí pro que daí vier.
Bom, então acompanha aí. Daqui a pouquinho a gente tá entrando. Faltam 3 lutas aqui pra finalizar aí a rodada anterior. Daqui a pouquinho a gente tá entrando no tatame aí pra fazer o nosso trabalho.
All right, so emotions are high. Excitement is... Oh, wait, we need a red ankle band of the guy, but oh, okay. We're just going to get started. Representing Pyramid, Jonas Lisboa. Representing Team Melky Galvao in the all-black, Rafelson Tarcísio.
At least it's black versus white. It's not as hard.
Helps a lot. I'm glad everybody's not just in pure black. It's definitely was pretty challenging. And I got to say, if there is an award for the snazziest team outfits, then Pyramid definitely won, because I love this print that they have.
The zebra print?
I love
it.
Love it. So this is in the 60-kilogram division. This is the first match between Team Pyramid Grappling Association and Team Melky Galvao. This is the final of our 4 rounds here in the quarterfinals of the Aiga Champions League qualifier here in Sao Paulo, Brazil. The winner of this, that was
gosh,
big impact. Big impact.
Wow.
So the winner of this team versus team encounter will go on to face Team VOOK Elite in the semifinal tomorrow.
On the other side is Engino's grappling team and Team Kasai. Haven't seen this too much tonight, this palm-to-palm style of jiu-jitsu wrestling.
Not so much, no.
We've seen a lot more of the conventional stuff, the very traditional approach to wrestling. Oh, but look at that. Very quick look on an arm drag, but easily evaded by Jonas Lisboa.
Based out of the Rio de Janeiro Team Pyramid Grappling Association. They've been really one of the kind of the better known teams on the Brazilian domestic scene over the last 2-3 years, for having focused exclusively on no-gi competition, which is still pretty rare in Brazil, because with the exception of Luta Livre, who is, they are just a purely no-gi jiu-jitsu style of grappling, but they have a heavy focus on MMA.
Oh, look at that, and on the legs.
Pretty much every jiu-jitsu team in Brazil balances gi and no-gi. And what we have here, the Pyramid Grappling Association, they've decided, you know what, we're going to go all in on no-gi grappling. And they've been out there, they've been getting a lot of attention, rightly so, they've been making waves. And this is a big opportunity. If they'd come out here at Aiga Champions League qualifier and advance through, everybody will know that the work, the results, well, they speak for themselves, right? But we have just under 2 minutes remaining, and that's a penalty against each. We've yet to see this match really go down to the mat. We've yet to see any really meaningful grappling exchanges on the mat yet, Jake.
That's interesting, and it's not a lot of big commitments in terms of takedown attempts as well.
Right.
So all the time spent on the feet, you're wondering, are you just gathering information? Are you...
Yeah, there's a lot of feeling out, for sure. A lot of feeling out, especially in the first 5 minutes. Because, if I can just get through those 5 minutes, if I can gather some data, if I can get a feel for my opponent, which side does he like to go? Is he strong? Is he relaxed? It pays off as you go into the later rounds.
We have seen a lot of this,
you could just do the Kazai guys, and you could just try and submit everybody in the first round.
That's true. But I think they had somewhere to be, because they dipped out after they were done. They had a dinner reservation.
Probably did, yeah.
Rafelson Tarcísio is doing this very, he's reaching for the single leg a lot, but he's not exactly committing to it.
Right.
Sort of like getting the bite, and or maybe getting a very shallow bite and letting go. And that's why I'm tempted to think that maybe he's just trying to collect intel.
Yeah. Oh,
there we go. In on the legs.
That was good. That's a great 2-point takedown right there. Caught both the legs, moved up to the hips, body lock. And that's significant, because there's less than 30 seconds remaining. Pretty much impossible for Jonas Lisboa to score back off that.
Yeah, it's very smart of him to kind of save that big shot for the end of the round. I do wonder if that's going to be something he carries on into the other rounds, or if he'll open up a little bit more.
Right.
How Lisboa is going to try to change his game plan in response to it, because, I mean, that was tactical. That was a very, very smart thing to do.
It was. And if I was Lisboa going into the second round now, I'd think, man, I need to score a takedown quick.
Yeah.
I don't want to leave it till late in the round like he did in that one. So Tarcisio takes the first round on points. First of 7 matches in this series, starting off in this 60-kilogram division. I love the way that these matches, the weights are randomized, you know?
Yes.
Done by a lottery, done by a random draw last night. And, you know, it's just so unpredictable. You really don't know what to expect as a spectator. And then it obviously makes it a little bit of a challenge as well for the athletes and for the teams in, you know, how do you strategize for such? But
Tarcisio's posture coming out to the mat was one of almost, it was almost like he was enjoying himself in such a way, and he's very confident, is what it seemed like. He's very confident coming into the second round, nodding his head, really ingesting the instruction of Melky Galvão as he heads back to the center of the mat.
Very similar to the first round so far. Kind of level changing and looking to try and catch a single is Lisboa. But it's very long range wrestling, isn't it? You know, they're not.
Yes.
They're not fighting for takedowns from tie-ups. It's all this kind of head-to-head, palm-to-palm. Not seeing any snaps or level changes really.
Look at the footwork out of Hafas and Tarcisio. Stutter stepping. Oh, stance switching as well. Switching his stance from left to right, left to right. And as soon as he switches to his right leg forward, he does a big double leg shot.
Ooh, interesting. Still, not really seeing any committed attacks for these takedowns.
A big snap down.
Still in the period of the match where, or the period of the round, excuse me, where only takedowns score points. But look at the intensity of the grips. You can see they're pushing so hard against each other.
Yeah, they're shaking.
They are. Reminds me of Hulk Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior. That famous palm-to-palm, fingers interlocked in the center of the ring.
Okay, I think that there is some element of strategy to the lack of activity before the points period, because as soon as points came into effect, Tarcisio looked for a deep underhook. So I wonder if that's part of the game planning of Melky Galvão is, hey, before the points period, let's stay safe, feel like pulling guard cool. I don't know. I'm not in Melky Galvão's head, but if I was, I'd be a lot better at jiu-jitsu.
Well, I mean, we do know from experience that Melky Galvão is a very strategic coach. You know, he's very intelligent in coming up with game plans, and you know that he'll have given his athletes clear directions as to what to do, as to how to get to the preferred positions. Really, it's a matter of, you know, what will we see from these guys? How will it all unfold?
And so far, Lisboa has been kind of relegated to just being defensive with his wrestling. He hasn't been really given any secure setup.
No.
He hasn't been able to set one up for himself.
No, there hasn't been any meaningful offense, for sure.
Even that arm drag, it seems like Lisboa's just kind of on the back end of it. He's not able to get his feet underneath him in any sort of secure way, whereas Tarcisio's attacks seem a lot more threatening in this second round. First round, it seemed like he was really just pawing, keeping his jab out there, let's say, and then throwing for that big takedown. But now it seems like a lot of the techniques are a little more committal, maybe trying to really find an opportunity in a little bit more of a profound way.
Yeah, I'd love to see an attempt at really breaking the posture and maybe using snap downs to try and force hands to the mat, or oh, there was a little wrist snap, kind of trying to clear the hands out of the way, follow with a shot. We're into the final minute now of this second round, and we saw that was when the takedown came, right, from Tarcisio in the first round. Will we see it happen again? Because it's so difficult to score back. You know, if he can get a takedown in the last 45, 30 seconds, like he's trying, it's pretty much impossible for Lisboa to score back off that.
He is doing a lot of the same setup I'm noticing too, though. Tarcisio really likes that arm drag double leg. Oh, but Lisboa in on the leg and right near the side of the mat.
Yeah.
That's the closest look he's had on any sort of take. It's the first time he's collected a leg. Oh, but the intensity is kicking up here. 20 seconds.
Still time to score. Oh, look at that double shot. They ran into each other. Lisboa is so aggressive in going forward.
And that's going to be round two. It's a draw.
0-0. So after taking the first one on points, second one 0-0, that means it's wide open as we go into the third and final round.
So in round two, I'd like to see Jonas Lisboa become a, or actually this is round three. This is the third and final round of this first of 7. But in this third round, I'd like to see Jonas Lisboa kind of, I mean, he's going to need to throw caution to the wind a little bit on the takedown exchanges. We haven't even seen this match go to the ground. It's been all wrestling. And with that being said, I'd like to see Jonas, like, he got that look on the side of the mat, so he can get to the legs. That should be a small confidence booster for him going into this third round.
Yeah, he just can't wait to pull the trigger. He's got to get out there. He's got to get busy.
Got to get busy. Zebra print, Jonas Lisboa. All black for Rafaelson Tarcisio. You see that arm drag? It's a constant threat. Ooh. A little bit of an interesting look there.
Yeah, it's like that reverse ankle pick, sort of the inside scoop grip. Ruotolo's do it really, really well. I've seen J-Rod do it really, really well. Quite an unorthodox attack, but very effective. But again, look at that. This is where mat IQ and, you know, distance management comes into play. It's so important because, I mean, we saw it, you know, earlier. I believe it was when we were watching Jefferson Pontes and Pierre Paolo. Remember, you know, that just all that energy expenditure and the takedown attempts, and, you know, only for it to go out of bounds and to lose the position and not get any points. That's why it's so important to control the mat area.
One thing that Lisboa has to be careful of is he's coming forward. They interlock hands, and then he's pushing forward very hard. That is a prime way to get yourself set up for things like a J-Rod duck under, right? With a double hands, ducking under. We're seeing some competitors employ that. Obviously, it's very difficult. It takes some wrestling skill to kind of understand that fluid motion, but imagine he's able to disconnect his hands and go underneath for a takedown. Seems like something happened on the mat.
Yeah, I think it was a little clash of heads there, actually. But you can see, look at, they're both pushing forward so much. They're head to head, but it's like
met with the double unders again.
It's like rams sort of butting heads, you know. That there's no misdirection. There's no level changes. There's no looking to go around. It's just trying to go through each other, and that's tough, right? they both have a very clear idea of what they're looking for, but maybe they need to change up their game plans a little bit to actually find it. We're not really seeing any angles being cut. We're not really seeing any hand fighting that is leading to openings. No clinching whatsoever. And
Oh,
now there is
Tarcisio
a
on the leg
takedown
again.
now.
Okay, so Lisboa
Lisboa
sits.
jumped for a triangle. That's what he jumped for. One arm is in. Oh no, he's managed to get it out.
That's a smart idea to overhook the arm like that. It's going to salvage the position a little bit.
There's no points because there's still an active submission threat right here. Lisboa did a very smart job of jumping up for that triangle, but the problem is he doesn't have one arm completely out, but he's got a Barat de Plata. He's got a Barat de Plata setup right here, Jake.
This could be trouble.
If he can get his right foot on the hip, if he can angle to his left, there is a very powerful shoulder lock right here. Very powerful shoulder lock indeed. It's basically a Kimura with the legs. He switched the triangle of the legs now. I'm not so sure that that is as effective a way of finishing that, but if you know, he could go Tarika Plata right here, the configuration of the arms, I believe. He's got his grip. He doesn't have anything anymore. That's the truth. The arm is trapped, but he doesn't have any real effective attack right here.
Well, what he could do is he could transition this position to a leg attack. You see how Hafelson is having to bring his left knee on the belly in order to kind of create some space. Now, if Jonas Lisboa is able to underhook that leg and turn it into a leg entanglement, he could realistically turn this into a sweeping position.
Go from upper body to lower body? Absolutely. Actually, you see the effort on Hafelson's face. Look at this. You know, I think there's a lot of... I think his arm is going to be really dead after this. I think the lactic acid buildup in his left arm after this, man, he's going to need every second of that 1 minute break to rest, because this is a strong position to have to defend from.
And you can see, look, Pirâmide in the background just yelling for their competitor. It seems like they're telling him to go for the sweep.
I mean, that would absolutely make the most sense.
If he has the foot scooped, it looks like he has the foot scooped, he might be able to get an off balance to the left side.
Oh,
Switches
he did
to the
go
leg.
for the leg. He did go for the leg. You called it, Jake.
He might be able to turn this into a takedown. Oh, he loses the position.
20 seconds remaining. Third and final round. 0-0.
And Tarcisio pulls guard. Oh my goodness. Hafelson Tarcisio
got hit with a penalty.
That's gonna make this a
draw.
Ref's decision.
Yeah, it'll be a draw and it'll go to a decision, because Tarcisio scored the first round.
What a
Second
crucial
round,
error.
0-0. This one, now Lisboa is up because of that penalty. It's going to go to a referee's decision, so we're going to have to see which way they decide that, because, you know, they're going to look at the match as a whole.
Yeah.
They're going to consider the attacks from both sides. Who was the more effective over that period of time? Who had the better opportunity to finish the match? I think Lisboa might have stolen that, Jake. We'll find out in just a minute. But based on the criteria and my understanding, I really think that Lisboa might take that one. Wow. The referees are conferring here at Matt's side. And, right, time for the official decision. The referee will call the competitors back into the center of the mat. Let's find out. All right, so in the black and white from Pirâmide is Iago Martins up against Vitor Pantoja in the all black from Melky Galvão. So Melky Galvão have a one-match lead so far in this 7-match series, and I got to say that, you know, that was a hard-fought first-round match. This is the 83 kilogram division. Let's see if this is any different. But look at, you know, we talked about this in our pre-event preview, that you look at the average age of all of the athletes, you know, on Melky's team, and they're all very young, all very baby-faced. You know, he's got a lot of up-and-comers that have been with him for many years, you know, since they were very young, but it's a very, you know, the average age is very young for Melky Galvao's team. I mean, you look at, you know, even his best-known guys, Diogo Reis, Melky, you know, his own son, Mika Galvao. You know, Diogo's in his early 20s, and, you know, Mika, I think, is still 19, possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a bunch of high schoolers in that corner.
Pretty much.
I mean, it's BJJ College is on all of their rash guards, you know.
Yeah, that's what Melky's gym is. It's you know, a faculty for those who are willing to invest in their grappling progress, and they've been absolutely tearing it up. You know, these guys, even at 15, 16 years of age, will enter the adult divisions at ADCC trials and such, and do really well as well. That's the other thing. They're not just making up the numbers. Oh, look at that. That was some nice pressure.
Pantoja going right in head first.
I like that. I like using the head when passing. You know, I learned that a long time ago, and I used to watch a lot of Leo Vieira all the way back in the day, and he was one of the first guys I saw kind of use, like, you know, passing, using his head and sort of spiking the head and putting his opponent down on their back. I still love that style, so I love seeing it come back.
Head positioning is one of the most important aspects of passing the guard.
It really is.
You have to be able to keep your head safe. You have to use your head to apply pressure. Your head positioning can vastly determine the outcome of a fight, but no time to explain that point. Iago Martins in on a leg.
Ooh, this is dangerous. Oh, this is very dangerous. Thought he had a side knee bar there for a second. He manages to turn his leg, but this is not out of trouble. He is not out of trouble here.
And look at Pantoja able to get that knee line free, at least for the moment.
It's not completely clear. The foot is still very deep, but I do think the knee is clear. But an adjustment there, open the guard.
Inverts once again. Iago back in on it.
Yeah, he's doing his best to try and keep control. Now he's got an arm in inside. That's a little better. He's got something from which to, you know, separate the legs. I like the way that Iago is keeping control of that low leg. Now he's going for the outside heel hook. This is good.
This is an opportunity, and he gets the tap. Iago Martins gets the submission and ties it up.
2:58 in the first round. Iago Martins with the outside heel hook. Well, he had to persist. It wasn't easy in finding the finish, but he got it in the end. Submission win. Okay, so now we're, after a match in the 91 kilogram division, we're back down to 65 in the black and white. Enrique Duran's of Pirâmide. Rickson Kanwan in the all black.
Oh, look at the activity.
Yeah, I like this. This is some good wrestling. Level changes, forcing, you know, the feint basically forced the level change and led to this front headlock attack. Now let's see exactly what he's looking for. Oh, he gets the pass off it. Nearly gets him flat on his back. Good sprawl on top from Enrique Duran's. And you know what? That's what was lacking in some of the earlier matches, Jake. But that wrestling, you know, the feint, sometimes you don't even need to get the legs to get the guy down on the mat.
Yeah, the feints that we just saw were very convincing. I mean, they convinced me. I thought he was going to shoot him for a takedown. And I think at that level of fake. No. I'm aware of who I am, what I'm doing.
Oh, nice peek out on the side there. Didn't even need to sit all the way out. Just kind of threw his opponent off and was able to find his way back to his feet. So just over 1 minute into this match. They're back up, no points. Wow, look at the activity there.
But they are convincing feints,
They really
and I think and that's what leads to takedowns like that. That's probably 2 points, Howell.
That is absolutely 2 points, yeah. And, you know, it wasn't like a tackle, right? He didn't really catch the legs. But the level change, he came up, he had like sort of a loose underhook, and then just, you know, was able to run him down. And Very effective technique, and even more so because he landed in top position inside the guard. That this is actually really good, because you've seen this again and again in ADCC. It's so hard to score takedown points. And one of the most effective ways to confirm those points, to get those points on the board, is to land on top in guard or half guard.
Yes. Yep. I've talked with John Combs about that on the podcast before, where he had mentioned that one of the things he was preparing for most in his time at the ADCC World Championship was looking for inside trip is one thing that a lot of competitors were doing, so they ended up inside that closed guard position.
Oh, yeah. Points are now active. Durance has a 2-point lead, 2-0 on the board. Oh, look at this. Dig in for a Kimura from bottom is Hickson Kanwa. Staying disciplined in maintaining his position on top is Enrique Durance. Definitely climbing from bottom is Hickson Kanwa.
And Durance needs to be careful not to acquire a stalling penalty or a couple of stalling penalties here.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you have to be defensive on top in half guard, right? But you can't just sit there, as we saw in earlier matches. You'll get hit with a penalty. Yeah, still with his hands on the mat. I mean, that's not a great position to be hanging out in inside the closed guard. This is exactly what happened. You know, your opponent will be able to isolate an arm and look for an attack. I'd love to see. Oh, there you go. Enrique stand up and try and effect a closed guard break some way. He's got 1 minute 20 seconds approximately on the clock. If he was to maybe shove down on those hips, shove down on the inside of the knee, there he goes. It's open. Oh, it's so fast and trying to pass the guard. Look at that.
Wow. Coming forward with a... Oh, and passing around to the side. Beautiful.
Very nice pass. Looking for the back. He's got the seatbelts right in front of the Melky Galvao corner. Flattens him out, Jake.
1 minute to work, and that's under the chin.
He's got the choke. It's on.
And that's it. Pirâmide does it again.
The third match in a row that they win by submission. Enrique Durance with a rear naked choke in the very first round.
They're up
and
3-1.
Team Pirâmide, man, they are starting to steamroll their opponents here. One minute and 6 seconds. Wow.
Man, I love the energy that Claudio Ribeiro brings to the mat.
Big
always
energy,
dancing,
yeah.
always bouncing.
I mean, both these guys look pretty hyped up. This is the 91 kilogram division. In the black and white is Eduardo Andrade. Andrade, of course, from Pirâmide. In the all black is Claudio Ribeiro from Team Melky Galvão. 91 kilograms.
Some big old dudes.
Yeah, these are basically, you know, you kind of call them like light heavyweights, I guess. You know, it's that weight class where they're not unencumbered. They're not encumbered by their weight. Let's say, you know, they're still athletic enough to, you know, be very explosive, very quick, very flexible, but very strong. You know, because as you do get up into the upper weight limits, you know, sometimes, you know, the heavyweights, they are naturally slower.
Man, we're seeing above 91 kilogram competitors playing K guard.
Well, no, I mean,
It's
don't get me wrong. There are some freaks out there who, you know, have flipped the script on what is possible in the heavyweight division. That's for sure. Nice elevation. I think we might see him look. There we go. Single leg X from bottom. Andrade
throws the reap
for
all the way
leg.
through.
Ooh,
heel hook exposed.
Outside heel hook here. Hand fighting. Ribero's taking the pressure off. Uh-oh, going to the other side now. Aye, that's on. Oh, man, this is nasty. This is bad.
Oh, he's got a hook on it. Oh, he ends up getting his leg free for the moment.
A little bit of a heel slip with some aggressive hand fighting, but no, this is on.
Oh, that's a tap right there. Eduardo Andrade makes it happen. Oh, my gosh, this is absolutely incredible.
117 of the first round. Oh, my word. 2 heel hooks in a row for Pirâmide. Eduardo Andrade. All right, so let's make it clear. This is extremely important because if Pirâmide can win this one, then they win the entire series and they advance through to the semifinals tomorrow. So, Jonathan Cardenas in the black and white, Cauã Gabriel in the black on the bottom. Oh, and I will say this though, that if you haven't been paying attention to this young man on bottom, Cauã Gabriel, you absolutely should, because he is one of the most promising talents to come out of Melky's school, and he's on a straight footlock here.
Oh, my
Jake.
goodness. It's a lot of pressure right off the bat. You know, Jonathan needs to be very careful how he goes about getting his foot out, because there could be an Aoki lock on the back end of this, turning the footlock basically the other way, turning it into a sort of a heel hook with the footlock grip.
Yeah, if you've ever been caught in an Aoki lock, absolutely disgusting leg lock to get caught in. Really makes you feel like your entire leg is going to explode to the pressure. But Cauã Gabriel, I mean, this young man has impressed so well. He won the ADCC Open in Brazil. He medaled at the trials, got an invite as a result, and will compete there in just, a couple of months' time in Las Vegas. Huge opportunity. But right now, the focus is, of course, defending the honor of his team, making sure that Melky Galvão advanced through to the semifinals, which is still possible, but they need to
look at that.
They need to win the next 3 matches in a row.
But Jonathan Cardenas is doing a great job of, sticking with these flash attacks, right? It's a skill in and of itself to be able to respond to, not a lot of people are going to pass the guard and sit back for a leg attack, right? They're not going to be passing, and then boom, sit back. But the ability to respond to competitors who do that kind of stuff. One thing that I noticed before this match even started was there was some chirping back and forth between the teams of Melky Galvão and Pirâmide. A little bit of tension, perhaps.
The mind games, I love it. That's why I like having these teams right next to the mats during the matches. They're there to support their guys. They're there to... they're also there to get in the heads of their opponents. Definitely slowed the pace down here, with 2 minutes remaining in this first round, 0-0. Seen a lot of close guard being employed, actually. And interestingly, in the last match, it was the opposite way around, right? That we saw the Pirâmide guy on top stuck in the close guard, and now we're seeing the Melky Galvão representative, Cauã Gabriel, kind of finding himself stuck in a similar position. But no real sense of urgency in trying to escape the close guard just yet. And I think, to be honest, it's very smart, Jake, because, as we said, one of the most and pretty much the only effective way of opening the close guard no-gi is to stand.
Yeah.
And, well, the Pirâmide guys just, in the last 3 matches, they scored 2 heel hooks. So it kind of makes sense. You know what? Don't let them grab hold of your legs.
That being said, Jonathan doing a Doing his best to stay active as a person on bottom. Stands, and that's exactly what we're talking about. You kind of give up the opportunity for leg entanglement. Now from the outside for the first time in a minute now, we'll see how Gabriel goes about passing his guard. And there we see that option once again. A lot of competitors are doing this nowadays. When the person on bottom is framing against the neck, they're turning their shoulder, punching that arm out of the way hard. They are punching it.
Yeah.
And digging that shallow underhook. Then they turn, and look at this!
Reversal. That's going to score for Jonathan Cardenas.
That is a huge moment.
That is significant. That is really significant. You're right. Juan Gabriel, he was hanging out on top in that knee cut position, and I feel like he maybe took a little bit too much pressure off, and he kind of, you know, just hung out a little bit too long distance, and man, he let that round slip through his fingers.
Yeah, that honestly, I mean, that was a round that you could look at and be like, all right. I think Juan Gabriel did more that round. If you look at the round holistically, he was aggressive. He was trying to pass, right? He had a bunch of submission attempts, but who scored? Jonathan Cardenas. And that's so, it really is something that is a testament to the Aiga rule set. You know you're going to round two. You want to get one in the hole. And now he goes into round two. I mean, it's a fresh round. He has a fresh opportunity. What he needs to do is he needs to be aware of the quickness of Juan Gabriel going into the second round, because he opened up fast. It's scary, and he's very dangerous.
Oh, double guard pull. That is interesting. And especially based off, you know, the fact that Juan Gabriel got stuck in the closed guard for a period of time and then even got swept from the kind of the open half. Maybe he feels that his path to victory is just more clear if he was to fight from bottom. I found it interesting that Jonathan Cardenas elected to go into the closed guard there.
Yeah, I find it interesting as well. I think
he really dove into it.
Again, it could be calculated. There is an element of this team building where these guys are actually they're coming together and they're training together, they're talking together, they're game planning it per opponent together. I mean, this is a very dedicated effort by the managers, coaches, and athletes. So it's going to be a negative,
negative against Jonathan Cardenas, yeah. And I think that's right. You know, he hasn't really done anything from close guard. He made the decision to go into it and has, you know, been effectively holding the position, but he's been warned again, and he's been put on the stalling clock again. I think that's absolutely right. Now, Kawan's opened that guard a little bit now. He's getting a bit more aggressive, but he's having a hard time and really trying to hang on to anything. He's not able to control the upper body. He's not clinching. He's not getting the best of the hand fighting exchanges. But you can see that he's trying to scoop inside that the left leg of Cardenas. Pretty obvious he'd love to draw that leg in for an attack. There he starts to go. I think he's got his hands briefly had his hands together there, but
yeah, he definitely briefly had his hands together, and now he's trying to pull it back in a little bit. Jonathan's doing a great job of remaining sort of, I don't throw this word around a lot, but anti-jiu-jitsu, right? Where it's just and that is jiu-jitsu even, you know, kind of in itself, but yeah, that's a conversation for a podcast or something.
Not our favorite style, but
yeah, no, well, definitely not, right? But what he's doing is very good in terms of like, okay, defending In other rule sets, maybe he wouldn't get a stalling call.
Oh, that's better.
But look at this.
That's good for Kawan Gabriel. This is much better.
And plenty of time to work to. Oh, and maybe getting this inside heel hook.
He's got 2 minutes to
Will
work
the heel
from
get
here.
exposed?
Plenty of time for which to try and work his way through those defenses, but he needs to be careful in the shootout because we've seen the Pyramid guys are very comfortable in playing the leg lock game.
And to the credit of Jonathan Cardenas, he looks very comfortable in defending this situation anyway. He doesn't look too stressed or worried about Kawan Gabriel getting a proper bite on his leg either way. That being said, he doesn't look like he's going for it as much, though, as Kawan Gabriel. He's very defensive this round.
50-50. They're both trying to separate feet. They're both trying to look for something.
Very interesting. Kawan Gabriel trying to wrap this straight footlock.
Yeah, the right foot of Cardenas has actually passed over the top of the hip now. It's not 50-50 anymore. And there is a little bit of tension on that foot. I don't think there's a whole lot of hyperextension. I don't think there's a whole lot of pressure through the Achilles and through the ankle. But still, with 2 negative points against him, Jonathan Cardenas, if he doesn't try and do something here, he's basically, yeah, he's lost this round. 30 seconds remaining.
Yeah, if nothing changes dramatically within the next 20 seconds, then that's going to take us to a fully tied up match going into the
1 round apiece.
Third round. And an interesting situation where Melky Galvão finds themselves on the precipice of getting booted from Aiga Champions League Brazil qualifier.
Yeah. If Jonathan Cardenas can take this win, the overall win in the match, then the team battle is secure. All right. That second round, 0-0, but 2 penalties against Cardenas. So as we go into round 3, this is the 5th match, of course, between Pyramids and Melky Galvão. Kawan Gabriel can win this round. He wins the match. And that's it. They're still in contention.
Yep. This is fighting to stay alive.
Mm-hmm. And I do feel like Jonathan Cardenas is kind of, he had such a good first round. It really feels to me like he's maybe saving something in the tank for this 3rd and final round.
Well, hold on, because the first round, it really looked like he took an opportunity. He still was on the receiving end of a lot of aggression.
That's true.
The entire round, he really didn't have offense the first round until he did. And when he did, he made it count. That round, it looked like he struggled a lot more to even amount any offense. I think Kawan Gabriel made a little bit of an adjustment, and I think that Jonathan was trying to play it a little too safe, and that's why he got 2 penalties.
It's a great take.
Kawan Gabriel keeping his foot on the gas pedal. Sitting back for another leg entanglement. Getting right down to business.
Yeah, looking for a possible straight ankle, possible like, okay, yeah, that was a great reaction there from Cardenas. He didn't hang around, to try and defend. It was an early stage defense, and I think that's so important.
And there was a kick in the face as Jonathan was trying to keep himself safe.
I mean, that
from
happens.
a leg entanglement.
In the leg lock shootout, that happens, right?
Yeah, that's where I wish we had an instant replay, because those kind of kicks. These kind of kicks are kind of fun to see. Now Jonathan back on top, this same position where we saw him concede 2 penalty points in the previous round. See what kind of adjustment he makes so as to not incur those again.
Kawan Gabriel, okay, he's got his hands clasped. Briefly had his hands clasped. He's scooping underneath the thigh, behind the knee. He wants to go legs, right? But, I mean, He's had.
Oh, Jonathan Cardenas.
This is what I'm saying. Kawan Gabriel's had 2 solid rounds to go after legs, and it hasn't worked.
It's interesting
Should
because
he wrestle up? Should he try and pass guard?
Those are both great ideas. What's interesting to me is that when he's in the closed guard with the K guard and he goes underneath and clasps his hands together, it's almost like he doesn't want his head to get hugged.
Yeah.
Which we've seen in a lot of high-level jiu-jitsu, that hugging the head doesn't matter. It doesn't do a lot to stop the K guard in a lot of instances. It can. If you got a great base, it can stop the K guard, but it doesn't always. And so you got to wonder, maybe he's just not as comfortable dealing with that sort of response. And there we see a beautiful leg entry. He might find this.
Yeah, 50-50 though. It's risky, right?
Well, once again, Jonathan doing a good job of hiding his leg.
Kawa goes straight angle on the outside leg, but gives it up to possibly focus a little more on defense of his own. It's the problem with 50-50, okay? You know, you go for your own attack and your feet are hanging out there, you know, asking for an answer, asking for a response, which we're seeing here from Cardenas.
Oh, look at this.
Ooh, this is dangerous. The Pyramid guys are seeing it as well. That inside heel hook could be on.
It's enough for Kawan Gabriel to not attack a heel hook of his own. He's definitely responding to it.
Interesting. Yeah, the Pyramid guys, they were out of their seats there for a second. Some of them, they saw that opportunity and they were hoping that Jonathan would take advantage, but just over a minute and a half remaining now. Final round. Score is tied. It's 1 round apiece. Honestly, I would hate to be a judge for this one. It's so even, Jake.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, Kawan Gabriel being very aggressive to start, and then Jonathan being very aggressive in response. So it's a back and forth, and you got to think, this round's so tight, I wonder if it's going to come down to how the other 2 rounds played out. Now Kawan back, getting under that leg again, opting for the leg lock approach once again. But look at this, Jonathan having to resort to throwing a footlock in order to prevent the sweep points.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, but they gave the points to Kawan. They've given the sweep points.
And rightfully so. His foot's flat on the mat. The footlock is no longer in effect.
30-something seconds remaining. Kawan got those 2 points. So now it's 2 rounds to 1. Still, there's the threat of the heel hook.
Jonathan needs to find this.
Wow, look at that. The Pyramid guys are telling him, you got to get up, you got to come up, you got to go, you got to spin, and you got to come up.
Oh, trying in the last seconds.
He's trying to win that sweep battle, but he can't. Opens his guard and the end of the match. No pass points necessary, but loses on a very late sweep. You know what, Kawan Gabriel, that was a tough match. It all came down to that one final sweep. And I think Jonathan Cardenas is kicking himself that he let that one slip through his fingers.
I think for everybody to hit the scales, I think Antonio Asaf was the largest man here.
132.5 kilograms, Jake. That is a big man indeed. If you don't speak metric, then 132 kilograms is only 290 pounds.
He's small.
And I think a lot of that is in his shoulders and neck.
He's a very, very big person.
He is indeed. And a practicing doctor, medical doctor as well, believe it or not. Dr. Pohada is his nickname.
Dr. Porrada.
Dr. Porrada, Antonio Assef. GF team black belt, based in Rio de Janeiro. A friend of and recruited by the Pyramid team to represent them here at the Aiga Champions League, and doing his best to try and close the distance. And Adam Nabawi of Melky Galvao, who is not small, Jake. He's 98.9 kilograms. He's basically about 215 pounds, approximately, maybe a slightly heavier. Looks like a lightweight in comparison.
Yeah,
Nabawi,
it really is interesting. That's a very interesting fact, Hal. I mean, it just goes to show the sheer size of Antonio Assef to make a 220-pound person look as small.
Right?
I'm interested to see how Antonio opts to fight on the feet here.
Yeah, good question. I mean, he certainly isn't expending vast amounts of energy in level changing and shooting. He definitely prefers to advance, tie up, and he's just content to patiently stalk his opponent, right? He loves those collar ties, loves to try and get body locks, run his opponents down. Because, you know, with a powerful upper body like that, if you're going to get into a clinch with a man like that, that's pretty tough, you know? It's pretty tough to try and lift a man like that. It's pretty tough to try and dig underhooks on the guy. I mean, good luck getting a body lock on him. You know, he's got such a thick torso. You do see in a lot of cases, you know, against very, very top-heavy guys like that, the very low kind of shots, like the ankle picks and low singles and stuff, the sweep singles are very effective. But then, do you really want a guy that big sprawling on top of you? That's the risk, right?
That's a huge risk.
Yeah. Especially when he outweighs you by over 30 kilograms, you know? Basically about 34 kilograms weight difference. 80 pounds, approximately. It's 75, 80 pounds. That's a lot. A lot. And Assef is just, yeah, he's stalking Nabawi. And I do wonder, you know, with Nabawi he's proving to be an elusive figure. They're using the whole mat. A lot of footwork so far. But we're over 3 minutes into this first round, and not a real meaningful takedown attempt from either man just yet, right? Just this extended hand fighting. And actually, I can hear the Pyramid corner saying, hey, he's only walking backwards, right? He's not going forward at all. Actually, I kind of have to agree with him on that one. Nabawi he's not staying still. You know, it's tough when the guy's stalking you, right? You can either meet him head-to-head, or you can try to go around, or you can move out of his way. But there does come a point when you have to answer with some kind of action.
You know what I imagine is the game plan of Pirâmide in this matchup. I wouldn't be surprised if part of it is force Adam Nabawi to get frustrated and pull guard.
Yeah.
Because the chances of Adam Nabawi taking Antonio Assef down, on paper, perhaps not very large.
There is the only attack. Dropped his level for a second, tried to catch the thighs, and Assef just shrugged that one off easily.
And that's what I mean. One takedown attempt, two takedowns attempts, you feel that you're running into this immovable object, maybe you'll pull guard. Because if it goes 3 rounds of just Antonio pushing forward, and setting up shot, like he's trying to set up takedowns, I could see how the referees might give it to Pirâmide in that situation. And that's a very realistic situation.
Oh, there's another attempt at dropping. And the crowd are actually shouting, they're chanting Adam. They really would like to see Adam Nabawi do something here. And he's got double unders, but man, that is just like, it's not easy to hoist a man that large. So that's 0-0 draw that round. So, after that first round, I wonder how things will change in the second, because I can't imagine that Antonio Asef will be too happy with that. You know, he wasn't able to grab hold of his opponent. At the same time, Adam Nagbawi is going to have to be, I mean, you can see they're massaging his arms in between rounds. They're going to have to be very mindful of, like, hey, Adam, don't make any mistakes now in this round, because you're already tired from the first 5 minutes. You don't want to get caught in a bad spot with a guy that big on top of you.
Nabawi carrying the weight of his team on his shoulders.
Yeah, a reminder, if Asef wins this one, Pirâmide will advance through to face off with Team VOOK Elite in the semi-final tomorrow.
And this, I think, is an interesting thing that's exclusive to the ultra heavyweight or the plus 91 kilogram competitors. Anything above 222 or in metric above 99 kilos, you fight anybody, no matter if they're 400 pounds. 400-pound gigantic 6'8" person, you will fight them. It's the open weight.
Yeah. And if you're on the lower end of that spectrum, wow.
Just waiting for Brian Shaw or Eddie Hall to enter a jiu-jitsu tournament.
Oh man, we don't need guys like that in jiu-jitsu.
No, that's
I'd love to see them dabble, but that would change the game. Very similar scenario to what we saw in the first round. Antonio Asef patiently stalking forward. A little more meaningful tie-ups this time, though. You know, we see Nabawi is not so gun-shy of engaging in these collar ties. I'd love to see him level change. I mean, we saw, remember in the match with, I think it was Enrique Duran's and Rickson Kawa, that you can effectively level change, feint, force such a strong reaction from your opponents that you can hit takedowns without even taking them down. It's incredible, right? Love to see some of that, but
it'd be interesting to see. Antonio's not really giving giant reactions on things. I think he's sort of trusting his base. Big, deep breath out of the big man.
Maybe that's a strategy. You know, maybe Adam Nabawi is like, hey, you know what? This guy's carrying a lot of weight. Ultra heavyweights, they don't have unlimited gas tanks like, say, you know, featherweights or roosterweights, right? So maybe his plan is to kind of avoid any danger in the first 2 rounds, and maybe he'll pull the trigger in the third when he feels that fatigue starts to set in on the big man. Because, you know, these guys, the maximum that black belts usually compete, if they compete in, let's say, IBJJF rules, it's usually 10 minutes. And even though they do get their breaks, if it was to go into the, you know, 12, 13, 14-minute range, well, that gas tank is going to be pretty empty by then. There's a good chance anyway. Maybe Adam Nabawi is thinking, well, that's my time to strike. Let's see. But we've got 2 minutes remaining in this second round. Yeah. Restart in the center. You know, there's actually an activity call against both guys. So they will both get penalized. And I think that's fair because, let's be honest, we need to see some action, and we haven't seen any ground fighting at all, Jake.
Yeah, that is a big part of this match. I mean, what happens if the match does go to the ground? If Antonio Asef's on top, we haven't seen his passing. We haven't seen the kind of game plan he would use against Adam Nabawi. Oh my goodness! Nabawi opening up a little bit. Double underhooks, nearly taking him. I would not want either of those gentlemen going out of bounds.
Hey, that was good sportsmanship from Nabawi.
Yes.
You know, they ran all the way to the edge of mats, but he didn't need to take it off, and he didn't. But man, he tried to pick up a leg, and it just just wasn't happening, right?
Melky Compound put his hands up like, don't fall on me. Crowd is coming alive for Adam Nabawi.
There's a lot of Melky Galvao fans in here. Oh, there's another attempt at the single. And again, they're trying to run down Antonio Assef. And
oh, my goodness.
that time, the whole Pyramid team scattered. Nobody was waiting to try and catch these guys.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're actually warning Nabawi, hey, you can't push him out of bounds. He takes him right up to the boundaries.
He's able to get the double underhooks on a more consistent schedule now. He's able to get the double underhooks and force those situations. I'm wondering what adjustments he's going to make once he gets those double underhooks.
Last 20 seconds now in this second round. And it is again a draw. So far it's 0-0, one penalty apiece. All right, time will expire in the second round. They'll get 60 seconds to catch their breath, drink some water, talk to their teammates and coaches. And we'll see what happens from here. So, I'll go first. I'll give my opinion.
Okay.
Of what I would do if I were Adam Nabawi, and I'd like to hear yours. If I were Adam Nabawi, I would come out without any warning, pretext, or hand fighting, and I would shoot a low single or a sweep single, catch an ankle, and do my absolute best to run Antonio Assef down as quickly as possible. What would you do, Jake?
Well, that's a really good idea. I don't know that Adam Nabawi has displayed even a tendency to go for anything like that. Now, wouldn't put it past Melky Galvao to have that sort of game plan, right? But if I'm Adam Nabawi, my apologies, I'm going to get that double underhook, and I'm going to stop trying to drive him, and I'm going to try to turn it into sort of a duck under to the back. Look for a body lock, knee tap, and take Antonio Assef down to the ground.
I like that idea.
Oh, snap down!
Snap down!
Oh, but look at this! Antonio Assef in on a leg against the tap! Antonio Assef answers! How unexpected was that? Oh my goodness!
It was about 22 seconds of the third and final round. Nabawi hit the snap down, managed to force Assef to the mat, but in the process, left his leg hanging out, and Assef took full advantage of that opportunity. And that means Pyramids will go through to the semi-finals tomorrow against Team VOOK Elite.
My goodness, what a nightmare it must be to train with that man, knowing that he has those leg attacks.
22 seconds, Jake. 22 seconds of the third round. You know, I did predict that Nabawi would come out and try and take the match down to the mat as quickly as possible.
But he got that beautiful snap down.
He was very effective, but he was a little eager. He maybe overcommitted to that exchange on the mat. But he tried to go into the top half guard, and Assef, I'd love to see a replay of that, because he scooped the leg, entered the legs, finished with a knee bar. Not what you would expect from a guy built like that.
Well, he was arching it before. It's sort of like a shotgun blast. You can just arch it regardless of how strong the lock is. I think the lock got stronger as he was arching.
Yeah, it really did. All right, so this final matchup in this team series, Samuel Horscher of Team Pyramid going up against Nicolas Renier, the Frenchman, who is
Big
a
shot right away.
And on the guillotine is Renier.
He's able to scoop the body with the leg. He's still got a lock.
Rocha has passed the legs. And he's taking a guillotine of his own here. 10-finger
look at
guillotine.
that!
Oh,
that could be in!
I think it's on. I think it's on. No, Renier rolls.
He's still got the chin strap. That's still underneath the
Does. He really does. That is not good. Renier's in danger here. He's on his side. He managed to strip the grip. Chin strap is now off, but still very much in a dangerous position. Rocha is on the attack here. Manages to flip that position, right? He was in a guillotine, manages to jump over the guard, get to top position, attack for one of his own. Now he's in a great position here on top from which to attack at his leisure. I mean, Rocha, you know, we talked about earlier, confidence is contagious. And with 4 wins in the last 6 matches, Pyramid will go through. Of course, this match is a formality, but Samuel Rocha has just seen 4 of his teammates go out there and win really well. You know, 4 submissions. You have to think that he wants to get one too.
Neon belly. Now back to pass the guard with his knee cut. Nicolas Renier. Oh, needs to watch out for this Dars. If he reaches that right arm too far through, Dars is right behind. And look at that. Right elbow behind the head.
Yeah, Renier is very aware of that. You see the wrist control. He's playing that kind of sort of reverse De La Riva open half. Renier is a veteran, you know. He's in his late 30s. You know, he's been around a while, but can you believe he's a 6-time ADCC veteran?
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's been around. He's been on the scene for a very long time.
That's an incredible accolade to be able to say.
Yeah, he's a lutte livre black belt, has a gym in Paris, France, has another in Rio de Janeiro, and spends a lot of time based here in Brazil, and this is why he's here and part of the team. Melky Galvão, very close to those guys. Melky was in his corner just last weekend in France for his super fight. But Horscher is... I like Horscher's posture from top right there. You know, he was alternating between high kind of framing, the long-range posture, and then he drops down. He's really looking for that dust, though. It's very obvious what he's looking for. Oh, I think he's got it.
That's a good bite on it, though.
Really
Interesting he didn't
good.
commit further to that. It's a great way to pass, too. It's sort of a anti-underhook guard pass, right? Because traditionally, you don't want to give up the underhook. But with the Dars, you kind of can give up the underhook. You have to be aware, of course, of letting the underhook get too far, just like with anything. But you're able to dip your shoulder down and really catch that shoulder. A lot of people love using the Dars. I mean, who better of an example to bring up than the Rotolo brothers wrestling up?
That was good work there from Renier and wrestling up to his feet, and he's on a front headlock attack now of his own. That was nice work from Renier in stuffing that. Uh-oh.
But trading guillotine for guillotine.
Yeah. His posture was compromised there. He went too low, and Horscher was able to catch the head, build height, come up, reverse position. And now I feel like this is a much better position for him on top compared to his earlier passing, because he's got a very strong grip of the torso. And even though he doesn't have the far side underhook, it looks like he's got the near side underhook, which is very, very powerful, Jake.
Yes, it is. It opens up a lot, too. That near side underhook.
He passes. Passed into mount briefly.
Just momentarily.
Yeah, foot is trapped again, but that's what you can do with that underhook, right?
Absolutely. The near side underhook can lead you to pass straight into mount, or you could even pass to side control on the complete other side. But
that's exactly what look at this. So he's settled down now. Rocha is in top. The good old-fashioned 100 kilos. And that's going to be pass points. He's now 5-0. Renier is he's had to dig deep for his defenses so far. He's been caught in a couple of compromised positions.
Good sportsmanship shown between all
Yeah,
of them.
Renier and Melky are actually having a conversation and laughing and joking with each other midway through this match, which is really kind of something. Nice attempt to go through the mount there from Hosha, but Renier gives him the opportunity to get back to this guard.
What a day this has been. My gosh.
This is the final match of today, by the way, Jake. And
it's a little past midnight here.
Yeah, it's been a memorable day. A lot of matches. It's been a lot of fun. 28 matches here so far today. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So last 10 now. Going to roll through into the second round, and that is a very clear 5-0 for Samuel Hosha. So, you see the Malky Galvao team talking to Nicholas Renier. You know, I wonder what they're telling him at this stage. You know, it's like, I really feel it's a case of just go out there and do your best. You know, because it is a tough task to go out there and to perform to your, you know, to your full potential when you've just witnessed your team lose the overall encounter. But you still got to give a good account of yourself, right?
Absolutely. And I think that that's one of the cool things about Aiga, right, is because you do have the opportunity to give a good account of yourself. It's like, jiu-jitsu's not really like this, but in football, the MVP of the game can still lose.
Oh, yeah, that's very true.
And that's crazy. Like, that's just how it works. You could be the best player on the field, and it's a team thing. Right now, what we're seeing is like team-based jiu-jitsu.
Guard pull from Hosha.
And very interesting. A lot of pressure right off the bat from Nicholas. You can see on the face of Hosha having to deal with that pressure was very strenuous.
Renier is looking for a floating pass over the top. Rocha was looking for legs. That's not bad from Renier. Look at that. He's managed to get kind of brief guillotine. Looks like he was going to try and backstep over it, but yeah, this seated guard, I mean, one thing that we've seen again and again is that the Pyramid guys, they're great at entering legs from this kind of position, right?
Yeah, and dealing with it if it happens to them. That's one thing I've noticed too, is they display proficiency not just offensively but defensively. And that sometimes you see people who are they've got real solid handle on attacking, but when it comes to defending, they're kind of a glass cannon. But what we're seeing with Pirâmide is it's sort of a well-balanced understanding of the leg lock game.
Rocha sits again. Renier just calls him over back into the center of the mat. I'd like to see him a little more assertiveness from bottom from Rocha. We didn't really see him play anything from bottom in the first round. The brief moment that he was on bottom, he was able to build height and find his way out. It's quite obvious he's looking for legs here.
Definitely a little bit of a slower pace. Trying to elevate again, maybe look for another leg entanglement.
Yeah, Renier is he's being rather non-committal in his approach to Rocha's guard. He's not getting too deep.
One thing from Samuel Hocha's perspective that I just considered is him doing, because this is a formality for him as well, but maybe a little less so, getting the jitters out, feeling out what the format's like. You haven't competed in Aiga before. Feeling even what the atmosphere feels like and performing at your best. Look at that. Nicholas Renier nearly
nice.
passing in the mount.
He's still passing. He's still got a chance here. He's blocked the near side hip. Good recovery from Rocha. That was nice work from Renier there. All came from kind of a body lock grip from top. 1 minute 50 remaining. It's 0-0 in this round. I think that Rocha should just absolutely go for a takedown. I mean, Renier was able to counter with a guillotine, but wasn't able to finish, and Rocha found his way out, and that's where he scored all his points from. But Renier's on the leg. Nice single there.
Nearly off the mat, though.
Yeah.
Taylor's oldest time.
They got all this mat space, and they still can't stay in the video.
It's a big mat.
It is
For
a
those of you guys
huge
watching at
mat.
home, this is a gigantic mat.
It is.
And yet. I blame ADCC. Mo, if you're watching, just kidding. Another big shot for Henier, running him. Oh, completely off the stage, but gently places him on his feet after slamming him to the ground.
You know, that was good work, the way that he was able to throw him, hit the throw by, go to the back, get the lift and the dump. Unfortunately, again, they run out of mat space, but, I mean, with 50 seconds remaining and it being 0-0, oh, not 0-0, Rocha gets a penalty for the guard pull.
That's interesting.
I was going to say that had it gone to 0-0, that Renier, that kind of work counts, and he would have probably, clearly got the decision in that for that particular round. But with the penalty, it's moot, right? He wins on points now.
Yeah, it's interesting because actually it was the first time that happened across this entire day was with Felson Tarcisio of Team Melky Galvão. He sat guard, and he actually gave up a round. He ended up winning the match versus Jonas Lisboa. But
close, though.
In this situation, I mean, 23 seconds to work.
Renier's not he's not going crazy, but when he does attack, when he does look to pass the guard, it's effective. He gets pretty far past, but Rocha is doing a good job of recovering and getting back to his safe positions, even in late stage defense. All right, second round goes to Renier.
Last round of the day.
And the first round, of course, on points to Rocha. The second round, points to Renier. And, of course, it doesn't matter how many points were scored. You could win the first round 20 points to 0, and you might win the second round, the other way, 2 points to 0. And it doesn't matter, because at the end, it's simply who scored the more rounds, not who scored the more points across those rounds.
Yeah.
Every round, in effect, is an individual match.
Just remember, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow it's going to be Angino's grappling team versus Team Kasai on one side of the semifinal. Team VOOK Elite versus Team Pirâmide Grappling Association on the other side.
All right, let's go. Third and final round, not just of this match, but of this entire event. Today, day 2. Tomorrow, plenty more action to come. But right now, we still have some unfinished business. This overall team result has been secured. Team Pirâmide will advance through to the semifinals tomorrow, but this last match still a chance for Nicolas Renier to get one back for Team Melky Galvão before they all go home tonight.
Rocha in on the leg.
Oh, nice leg entry. That's a good bite from Rocha. Okay.
Good response, though.
Yeah, Renier cleared that well.
You can really see the experience and how he's not worried, deals with the situation, back to neutral. All All right, another guillotine attempt for Nicolas Henier.
Oh, you know, that's the second time he's gone for that and allowed Rocha to clear the legs and move around into this top position. That's something he needs to address in future, you know. Nice guard recovery. Deep knee cut position here from Rocha on top. He's really low. I like that kind of low posture. It almost reminds you of like how JT Torres likes to pass the guard, you know, that kind of up on his toes, really driving through. You see with his right leg framed all the way out like that. That low posture, though, doesn't really offer any opportunity to get into the legs. So it's nice. We see that he's got great low posture, hanging out. But there we go. We see now scoop grip on the inside. Can't quite see if Renier has the underhook. I don't think he does. No,
Oh,
no,
look at
he
that.
doesn't.
Beautiful work.
Nice. Rocha just very calmly settles down into side control, and that's 3 points.
It was that consistent crossface with the right arm. He was keeping, oh, look at this, possible roll. Underhook reestablished by Henier. But Rocha he had that consistent crossface, and what that was doing was preventing the deep half guard. And now he finds himself in this position where he might give up a half guard sweep. Look at this, run the knee run.
He's going coyote guard. There's a little knee bar action from bottom there as well. Yeah, but there's the DOS choke threat again. It's the problem. You play this kind of guard, coyote guard, in no-gi, and it's such a common response to, you know, that you'll find yourself defending a DOS choke if you're not careful. This is why it's so important to maintain really good discipline with your underhook. If you have that low underhook around the sort of the hips, you have to make sure that your elbow's high.
Big response from Nicolas Henier.
Yeah, that was nice. But yeah, Rocha, man, posture on top, really good. Renier's having trouble getting out from bottom, even when he's playing his coyote guard style.
Now back on top is Samuel Rocha. And he likes to keep this right hand sort of ready to crossface at any moment, but now we see Nicolas Henier opening up a little bit, looking for that arm bar. Definitely a bit of desperation out of Team Melky Galvão, even in this formality match. Oh, but look at this. This is setting up, a lot of people call that the bear trap. Oh, look at this. Little look on potential calf slicer.
That is very unorthodox. That could work.
That looks painful.
Rocha's not in a good spot here. There's only 3 seconds remaining. He should be able to hold on. And Rocha,
do it.
3 points to 0. That puts him at 2 rounds to 1. He'll take the win on points, just further solidifying the overall victory for Team Pirâmide.
Fala galera, aqui é o Samuel Rocha, estou representando aí a Pirâmide Grappling. Hoje aí no primeiro dia de qualificatório a gente acabou passando, enfrentando a equipe do Melky Galvão, uma equipe muito dura. Graças a Deus saímos com a vitória aí. E bora aí para amanhã, bora buscar essa vaga aí pra gente poder lutar a final lá no Cazaquistão. Bora lá, os.
E é isso, galera, encerramos aí. Porra, excelente resultado, contra uma equipe muito grande. Então o clássico dessa vez a gente levou, foi muito bom, a galera lutou muito bem. Então a gente já ganhou, a gente não precisou da última luta, mas mesmo assim a gente ainda ganhou. Então a gente ganhou com uma certa diferença de vitórias e estamos classificados para o dia seguinte. E amanhã a gente enfrenta o time da VOOK, vai ser uma luta dura também, bastante atleta duro. E vamos ver o Odeio franceses. Se inscreve aí. Não esquece de se inscrever no nosso canal. Vai ter mais um vídeo amanhã. E é isso. Se inscreve, comenta, dá suas sugestões, que a gente vai estar sempre lendo aí. Ouça.
With the 60 kilogram division, Jaime Oliveira against Jonas. 60 kilogram division. So in the all black is the Team VOOK Elite. In the really snazzy, I gotta say, my favorite uniform of the weekend, Jake. I love this black and white print that they have. Very distinctive. And I love seeing it, you know, across all team members in the same uniform. Really, it was one of those things that I love about Aiga.
It's a really small addition to the tournament landscape, right? But it's cool because it actually shows a lot of individuality. It shows a lot of personality of the managers and how they go about putting together the kits for their athletes.
So yeah, we seen immediately now that on top, Jaime Oliveira from VOOK, looking to work his way around, trying to get the underhook and trying to get that knee cut here. Jonas Lisboa.
Oh, look at this.
Being put in a very difficult position here. I mean, this is not an optimal position to be on bottom here. I mean, of course, there is deep half, but you don't see a lot of deep half guard players in the lightweight divisions. It's generally a big guy kind of position.
It would seem that way, and right now he does find himself in a bit of trouble. If he's able to get his hips flat to the mat or roll into it, he'll have a better chance of escaping this armbar, but as it stands right now, this could turn into a submission very quickly. Oh, but look at this. Very interesting. Jaime Oliveira going in on the heel hook now. Has the full leg reap. The knee is deeply caught.
That was an interesting transition. Yeah, in this leg lock position right here, it's a little difficult to see from our vantage point as to, oh, okay, now it's a better look now that they've rolled up like this. Oliveira is looking for the inside heel hook.
Oh, very interesting. He's got a crank on that opposite foot, Howell. He's trying to swim his arm through to be able to expose that heel, but Lisboa is doing a good job so far keeping himself safe. The only thing is, all he's really able to do right now with his hips oriented the way they are is kind of maintain not getting tapped out.
Well, the main thing is that Oliveira needs to do is he needs to separate the ankles, right?
Yes, well, he needs to separate the ankles, and one thing he can do, it's called the running man escape, if he's able to get that leg free, but the other leg is caught too, and now he's in a really tough spot.
Oh, this is looking good. This is looking really good. He's managed to go all the way up over the top. Can't quite see the grip that he has of that foot, but he can even go lateral knee bar here.
Oh, and look.
Oh, he's cleared the knee line. He's cleared the knee line, and now Lisboa is up. So Oliveira he was in a pretty decent attacking position, but Lisboa, and we saw this yesterday from the Pyramid guys, that they are very comfortable in the leg exchanges. Lisboa was able to stay calm and fight his way out of position. He lost his match yesterday by decision, did Jonas Lisboa, against a very tough Rafaelson Tarcísio of Melky Galvão. But it was a very close match. You know, it was in the rounds that they had. He only conceded 2 points and 1 penalty across the 3 rounds. And Lisboa is definitely tough. Whereas you look at Jaime Oliveira, and he won his match first round by heel hook. So not surprising that he's again there trying to tangle up these legs. Look for a submission outside heel hook this time.
Could this be it? Oh, and the hand was up to tap.
It really was. That floated for a second. That was a dangerous moment. He's rolling through to try and readjust.
Oh, and again. He gets it. Jaime Oliveira.
Well, his second match this weekend. and his second first round heel hook, Jake. 3 minutes and 48 seconds.
And your winner by submission due to a heel hook representing Team VOOK Elite, Guilherme de Oliveira.
E o vencedor...
All right, here we go for our second match in this 7-match series. In the all black is Gabriel Broj. In the black and white is Eduardo Andrade, excuse me. This is the under 91 kilogram division, and Broj had a really tough match yesterday against Fernando Hayes of Team Untouchable. It was a very interesting match. He showed, he's very physical, but he's also very technical and had to deal with a very sneaky opponent in Fernando Hayes. But he was able to win that one on points. Whereas, we'll see here, Eduardo Andrade, he scored a very quick first round heel hook win yesterday, Jake.
Yeah, it's something that he has done over and over and over in his match yesterday. He pushes so strong with the legs to create the distance, and he does that, and it's almost like this trump card that he has. If he doesn't like how his guard is going, he can just kick and get back up, and it's such a powerful kick that he can reset back to neutral in this powerful wrestling that he displays.
We are still, of course, in the period where only takedown points will score, and both men on their feet, neither in a rush to pull to the mat. Well, there is a very casual guard pull. Casual,
very
right?
slow. And look at that, just like I said. Doesn't like how the guard's going, he can push.
He did that a lot yesterday. He kicked off, he kicked Fernando Hayes off a number of times, but even when he does kick off and make the space, he doesn't necessarily explode back up to his feet. It's almost like a reset, right? It's almost like a, no, take your pressure off, come back in, I'll play my guard again, but also it really keeps his opponent very off-balanced as well.
It's got to also put something in the head of your opponent when you push them away like that at will. You know, think like I can't pass the guard comfortably because I'm afraid I'm going to get pushed right in my chest. Little look at an arm. Gabriel Broj has a shoulder crunch.
He was looking for that straight arm lock from this position yesterday against Fernando Hayes.
He might get it.
Comes up high, trying to throw over for the armbar.
He might just get it. Turns it into the armbar underneath.
Nice escape there from Andrade. And he could be in on the legs here, Jake. But that was a very legitimate submission attack. But
look at this.
In on the legs. He scored a submission win via leg lock yesterday. Broj fires back.
Oh, and he gets a tap. Leg lock shootout.
Broj counters the leg lock with one of his own and gets the first round submission in just under 2.5 minutes. 2 minutes 28.
And your winner by submission due to an ankle lock representing Team VOOK Elite, Gabriel Broj.
E o seu adversário no corner azul, representando o time Pirâmide, Henrique Duran.
So now we move on, and this is the under 65 kilo category in the all black. Aaron Nathan Silva going up against Enrique Duran in the black and white.
Duran has this sort of loose confidence about his jiu-jitsu. Do you see how it's almost like he's playing around as well, but he seems very, very sure of himself. A little bit of a clash of heads.
This is the third in our 7-match series between these two teams, Team VOOK Elite and Team Pyramid. Of course, the winner of this overall series will go on to face Kasai in the final here a little later. There was a shot, but
oh look at that!
Arm spin takedown, and that's going to score, Jake. That's 2 points.
Absolutely beautiful, but look at this. Right off the back end of it, buggy choke in effect.
Buggy choke. This is actually dangerous. I mean, that was a beautiful takedown there. Gonçalves was able to answer the guillotine from the stuffed shot with a really nice arm spin. You don't see that arm spin very much from that position. But Duran's is firing back with this buggy choke, and he passes into side control. That could be a mistake. That could be a mistake, Jake. He's going deeper into the buggy.
A little bit of blood on the forehead. But this buggy choke, I mean, it's still locked on. If he's able to connect his hands underneath, he's trying to utilize that left arm to correct the angle a little bit. But if he can connect his hands together and really crunch his lat down, do you see? He's trying to be blocked, but he's got the hand connection almost.
Well, one thing that Nata needs to do from top is he needs to make sure that he doesn't allow the compression between his left ear and his shoulder, because it's basically a triangle choke from bottom, right? And he does manage to defend it.
Aaron Nathan Silva, he corrects the position.
So Silva is up on the neck himself now. And Duran's had a really nice look at the. Oh, they're going to stop it for the cut. It seems. I think it might have been head on head, because you can see there's some blood coming from the mouth of Duran's.
There's visible swelling on the head of Aaron Nathan Silva as well.
Ouch. Wow. Great match so far. I mean, we're still only less than 2 minutes in. It's 2 points up for Team VOOK Elite. I gotta say, that buggy choke though, when he passed from the half guard into the side control, I personally think that was I thought that it was a fatal mistake, because generally, you know, you go deeper into the buggy and it only gets tighter. But also, a lot of people make the mistake. They think when they're in the buggy choke that they need to pull away to get out of it. And actually, that gives them the opportunity to finish it. Quite often, the best defense of the buggy choke is drive forward, push your elbow away, make space between your ear and your shoulder. And that is exactly what Silva did.
What the defense of the buggy choke really came down to, how it was he blocked the hand from making the connection for long enough to get a little bit of separation. If he wouldn't have blocked that hand and the buggy choke was able to be put on a lot sooner, then that could have been curtains for that entire match, just in that moment.
Medical stoppage. We'll resume the action as soon as we can. We need to obviously make sure these guys are taken care of. It looks like it was maybe, you know, the clash of heads was like teeth on forehead, so very uncomfortable, but I think we're good to restart. They put a little bit of a bandage of some, I don't know, just like the piece of paper on his head there. It'll come off in like about 3 seconds.
That's
you
all
watch.
right.
Yeah, but all right, restart the action, same position.
You could do the Travis Stevens and just wrap as much tape around the head as possible.
Yikes. Okay, Silva managing to sprawl back, break the posture there of Duran's. Trying to snap him down again here.
Yeah, very insistent on this front headlock position.
Well, it does look, I mean, you know, we know obviously there's so many options from the front headlock, but it doesn't look like he's going for any submission attacks here. It's looking like he's mainly trying to break the posture and possibly to improve his position by getting a turnover or attack from the back from the knees. What do you think, Jake?
Duran's is doing a good job of controlling the wrist. That's the big thing, is I think that Silva wants to drag him to the ground and initiate some sort of a choke, but it's very difficult when your opponent has control over the wrist. You can see a good angle on it here. He's controlling the wrist, and now Silva has a little bit of a better look on it, but he's trying to control the elbow now, too, to possibly go for some sort of a submission. He's able to get his head out of there.
Nice hand fighting there from Duran's. A little bit of pushing and shoving head to head.
Duran's with a double underhook. Oh, and look at that attempt.
Yikes.
That could be his undoing, though.
Yeah, that was a nice attempt at the throw from the double overhooks, but I think Duran's was like, no, I could see that one coming. Almost landed in side control, but now he's on the back. He could go for the stretch here. He could go for the Suluev stretch.
Oh, look at how creative.
Armbar!
Oh, my goodness! What a submission!
3 minutes and 32 seconds of the very first round with an arm lock submission. Enrique Duran's takes the win for Pirâmide. The first submission in this series for Pirâmide.
Your winner by submission due to an arm bar out of Team Pirâmide, Enrique Duran.
E o vencedor por finalização.
All right, so our fourth match now in this 7-match series. In the all black, we have Matheus Ferreira. In the black and white, Samuel Rocha. First time we're seeing Matheus Ferreira in action. He didn't compete yesterday against Untouchables, but Samuel Rocha returns. He had a match that he won on points against Nicholas Renier. It was the very final match of the day yesterday. All the matches. We had 28 matches here yesterday, Jake.
Today we'll have 21, correct?
We will, yeah. 3 rounds because yesterday was quarterfinals. Today's just 2 semifinals and then the final. Kasai already confirmed for the final. The winner of this series between Team VOOK Elite and Pyramid will face off with Kasai a little later. And so far, the score, 2 matches to 1 in favor of Team VOOK Elite. And there is a guard pull from Rocha right on the edge of the mat.
Rocha really displayed solid passing fundamentals yesterday in the final match of the day as well. But opts to pull guard here.
Yeah, we're not sure what to see from Ferreira, right? Because I like this about Aiga is that, you know, they've got, you've got multiple members in each. Ooh, there's a leg lock, looking at the single leg eggs possibly, going on the
very
ankle.
urgent.
He's trying to dig the heel hook now. Rocha is looking for the heel.
He's using that right hand to lift the heel off the ground. Now he's looking back at it again, but this is a great right arm underhook by Matheus Ferreira. It's making it very difficult.
Tries to pull out, but doesn't manage to clear the leg. Now this is actually worse.
Yeah, now he's a lot deeper in on this reap.
Yeah, the left leg is passed over the top of the knee, cycles through. Well, he can't pull out, Jake. He's really sticky grips here.
Every time he's almost out, he's right back in.
Yeah, Ferreira is doing his best, but now that left leg passes over the top of his thigh again. The reap. He's looking for the outside heel. Doesn't quite have the control of the leg, even though he does have the heel dug out. And I was saying that Ferreira is the first time we saw him because you can have multiple athletes per division and you can switch them out depending on which round. So while we saw Rocha yesterday in action against Team Melky Galvao, first time we're seeing Ferreira, but look at this again. He manages to pass the left leg over the top of the thigh. Quite clear he's looking for the leg lock here.
Now look at Ferreira, arching a footlock of his own, giving up the wrestle up.
Wrestles up though. Can he put Ferreira down? Samuel Rocha taking his time in running his opponent down. That's 2 points, Jake.
He's going to get the 2 for that. Very impressive work from Samuel Rocha.
So we're just over halfway through this first round, and now Samuel Rocha on top in this open guard. And he did, like you mentioned it earlier, but he did show really decent posture. Oh no!
Oh, look at this!
Oh no, out of nowhere, triangle armbar. Rocha's in trouble here.
That could be it!
Just a momentary lapse in focus. The posture just a momentary lapse, really, is all it took. He's on the omoplata now for Ferreira. I think he may have lost it, but he could sweep from here.
Rocha was ready to tap, and he fights out of that submission.
And not only does he fight out of the submission, he's on top and he's on a submission of his own.
Oh, and they're off the side of the stage. Will they go off? And they do.
Guillotine, a choke, they roll out. Wow. Wow, that came out of nowhere, Jake. I was there saying about how great Samuel Rocha's posture is in passing the guard. And then the next thing you know, Ferreira has a triangle armbar out of absolutely nowhere.
Had to take a drink of water after that one. My goodness.
Sometimes that commentator's curse is real, right?
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely incredible. And then they're just taking a moment, just, okay, yep, that just happened.
I like the
Back
way
to the
that
action.
Not only did Rocha have to fight his way out of the triangle armbar, he had to fight out of the omoplata as well that followed. But man, he answered right back with a guillotine choke, and Ferreira, who knows, if they'd been in the center of the mat and they hadn't rolled out, maybe this match could have been over.
And you know, it looked like he had that armbar fully stretched out, triangle right behind it. I was ready for, I thought the match was going to be over. Let's just say that. And then he digs deep and finds the opening to escape. It is 2-1 in favor of Team VOOK Elite, so a loss here would put them in a tough spot.
I love the throw by there from Ferreira. Now he's on an egg. Hosha's got the body lock, though.
Looking for the throw, potentially. And there it is.
Got a wrestling match in our hands right here, Jake. They get walked back into the center of the mats. Double underhooks for Hosha. Oh, but man, those overhooks are tight. He's actually given up the body lock. And
and belly's out on the throw.
And not only that, he's got a meal lock at the same time. Now runs through to the back.
Oh, and I think that's going to be 2 right at the end of the round, Howell.
Wow, that is the end of the round, but the judges are talking about it as to whether they deserve it to be takedown points. Either way, let's see, because they're talking about it, whether it deserves to be a takedown or not. That first round, it could be called a draw. We're going to find out in just a second. The referees are consulting. They're watching the video replay. And it was 2-0 to Samuel Hosha. Depending on how they decide that final sequence, it could be 2-2. It could be a draw. We'll find out in just a moment. Deep in conversation at Matt's side here are our officials. It is a draw. First round is a draw.
Round 1 declared a draw. Primeiro round declarado empate.
Interesting, because the Pyramid guys, after that decision was rendered, saying that the first round was a draw, they're actually protesting, saying it shouldn't have been takedown points because he landed in the guillotine. But I don't think it was an active submission, so, you know, it is considered a takedown because he really has to be, you have to be stuck in an actual submission threat for the takedown points not to count, right, Jake?
Yeah, the arm wasn't connected, and it wasn't really locking a choke. It was in the guillotine position, but...
Double guard pull.
Double guard pull. And our referees here at Aiga, they're all experienced, either judoka, judo, or jiu-jitsu,
they're all jiu-jitsu black
or
belts.
all of it.
Yeah,
They're all jiu-jitsu
yeah,
black belts. They do everything, and so they're knowledgeable.
Leg lock shootout. Ferreira is looking for a straight ankle.
Or it looks like an Estima lock even.
Oh, we see Hosha's looking for a heel hook here. Interesting that they both, after an intense end to that first 5-minute period, when they made contact, they both slowly and calmly sat down to guard. I think they're probably going to try and conserve a little bit of energy for the, you know, there's potentially 2 more 5-minute periods, right?
Well, this is a big stretch by Mateus Ferreira.
Get restart back in the center of the mat. We're just over 1 minute into this second round. Reminder that there are no points for the guard pulls, no negatives for the guard pulls in this period. You only get hit with a penalty if you pull without grips.
It's very important to keep that in mind.
Yeah, because we saw that actually decide matches yesterday. People pulled without grips, got penalized, and they lost as a result in the end. Hosha's really trying to draw his opponent into deep waters here. Interesting to note that neither of them are fighting to come up on top from this position, Jake.
No, I think that they both, after that first round, are content with trying to shoot out with the leg locks a little bit. They have about 20 seconds till the points come into effect anyway. So Hosha trying to come up with crafty ways to get that knee line captured. But Ferreira's being very diligent about keeping that other foot as a brace to push him away and continue to make that distance.
Points are now active. So if Ferreira is able to sweep from here, he could score. Or, of course, if Hosha can pass. But Hosha, he's not even trying to get past the legs. He wants to get back to that reap again, and he's got it. He's got that left leg passed over the top of the thigh.
This could be a better bite. Maybe thinking about a toe hold as well. But look at that. Ferreira gets his knee line free again.
You know, I got to say I'm impressed by Ferreira's ability to calmly...
Oh, heel hook!
Uh-oh. But he calmly deals with each of these leg lock attacks. There's no panic on his face at all. He seems pretty comfortable in these shootouts. This is bad, though. Backside 50-50. Samuel Hosha's got a really good opportunity to finish the match right here. Mateus Ferreira.
Oh, now he's got the better extension on it.
Oh! No, he had it and it slipped off. That could be the fact of the moisture because of the sweat. That was about as good a submission attack as he's had with a leg lock so far, Jake. And it really goes to show that sometimes it's a case of millimeters, the difference between a submission being effective or not.
He's been able to hang out in this reap position for longer than at any other point in the match, too.
And I said it before, I'll say it again, Ferreira has very calmly dealt with all of these leg lock attacks. And I like the way that he's now driving forward. Oh, it throws his hips up and over. Man, that's a great answer to that position right there. And he's on the neck now. He's on the neck.
That looks like it could be tight. Samuel Hoch is giving a real reaction to this.
Armin guillotine.
And he gets the tap! Mateus Ferreira, Armin guillotine.
4 minutes and 9 seconds in the second round after fighting out of some really deep leg lock attacks. Mateus Ferreira gets the win for the VOOK Elite. And that now makes it 3 matches to 1 in favor of VOOK.
Your winner by submission due to a guillotine choke, representing Team VOOK Elite, Mateus Ferreira.
No corner azul, representando o time Pirâmide, Iago Martins.
All right, so just a reminder as to what we saw yesterday. In the black, Nicolas Souza was able to win via a first round anaconda choke. Iago Martins, when he competed yesterday, he got a first round heel hook. So both guys had first round submissions in their matches yesterday, and we have seen 4 submissions in a row in this series so far, with 3 of them being in the first round. I wonder if we'll see another first round submission. Look at that. Oh, there's a nice shot, but on the neck, and shut that takedown down. Iago Martins on top in the black and white. Nicolas Souza on bottom, close guard, going for the legs.
Up. Immediately looking for that K-guard setup. Well, look at this, getting a little chippy right away.
Yeah, this is looking an intense match. You know, this is the 83-kilogram division. These guys they're strong, they're athletic. And both of them, as we saw yesterday in their matches, they do fight with intensity. Because, you know, everybody's well-conditioned here, everybody's an athlete. But some guys are just more intense than others, right?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And I think it's interesting that competitors who are able to monitor their intensity throughout a 3-5-minute round and really have prepared for this, because it is a different way of fighting. If you blow your entire gas tank in the first 5 minutes thinking that it's just one 5-minute fight, you have to go to a second round. You might be at a detriment that second round, even if you are on paper the better jiu-jitsu technician. If you're not the better athlete, you're at a disadvantage.
So on top, Iago Martins is currently kind of looking at what to do here with this guard. Interesting posture here. It's kind of I mean, it is a butterfly guard. Both the hooks are on the inside, but at the same time, apart from that head control, I'm not so sure how effective the grips were there from De Souza on bottom. Now, this is a little bit different. Iago Martins is kind of driving forward. Very interesting posture. Hips are very high. He's kind of like tripoding forward, but he's got the underhook. But there are options here for Souza from bottom as well, right, Jake?
Yeah, he needs to keep on bringing that right knee inside. I'd like to see it go a little bit deeper. He's trying to look for submissions over the top too, but the fact that that bottom leg is beat, now going back to close guard is a really good option. I just don't think him hanging out in that sort of in-between without any measurable offense is always the best idea. But as you see right here, now he's trying to use that top foot, bring that foot inside. That can get him under the leg. It can yield butterfly guard. Different options such as that.
as mentioned, that Iago Martins was able to win his match yesterday in the first round via leg lock. Nicolas de Souza won his via anaconda choke. Iago Martins, though, has shown no intention of dropping back for the legs from this position. Quite the opposite. He's really putting forward pressure on and trying to go through the guard here, right?
He's dropping that right knee down, pinning the wrist. One thing I would say that Souza has to watch out for is it seems like Iago Martins is able to get closer and closer with every exchange. He's able to get a little bit deeper. Like you see this deep underhook. If he's able to get past that knee and go into side control, there's going to be a lot of pressure going behind that.
Yeah, not only does he have the underhook on with his left arm, but he's got the head kind of in a position, and you can use it as a spike, can't you? You can really drive it into the jaw of your opponent from top. But also, you know, he needs to clear the knees in this half guard position to make a meaningful kind of control chest to chest, because that top knee pushing on the hip is a frame and it's keeping Martins away. It's managing distance control. So Martins has to back out. Martins is on top and he's maintaining a really good sort of posture here now. You see, like he does have a tendency to go forward, drive forward with his hits up, bulldoze forward. That's absolutely correct. But in this kind of situation, you see his head and chest was higher and his hips were sinking down on the hook that is between his legs. And that really does make it very, uncomfortable, because then De Souza has to carry the weight of his opponent while also trying to find a way in. As you can see here, he's kind of scoop a leg.
Now he's trying to get under the leg.
But
Great
Martins
work.
is so heavy, right?
Well, Martins was able to bring that right arm inside, and that's what prevented it, but not for long though.
That's better. Souza's done a good job now trying to pass that leg across.
Not a lot of time to work though. Oh, maybe get a sweep at the end though. Oh, look at that.
Just
Beautiful
did.
work.
Last 10 seconds, Nicolas de Souza, he stole that round via a last-second sweep. Very interesting.
Round one goes to Team VOOK Elite.
Primeiro round, vitória de Team VOOK Elite.
Yeah, very interesting use of the sort of the leg entanglement there to not just search for a submission, but great use of the position to off-balance Martins, knock him down, and then come up on top and score 2 points in an otherwise a very uneventful is the wrong word, but there was no other significant action in that round, Jake, right?
It was a very tight battle.
It was.
And I think that they were both figuring each other out. And it's not that they were like trying to use the first round to figure each other out. They're very evenly matched, and they're very close. So I think that last sweep at the end was urgency. And we really saw a great awareness of like where he was on the mat, transitions to 50-50 and gets that sweep literally in the last 10 seconds.
All right, so it's round two now. And Nicolas de Souza in the black pulse guard once again. You know, for somebody who basically had to carry the weight of his opponent there for extended period in the first round, well, he obviously shows he's comfortable because he went right back to the same position, and they're pretty much carbon copy. He's playing that open half guard, bit of knee shields. And again, the pressure from Iago Martins. He's doing a good job of staying heavy. You know, there's not a lot of openings. De Souza was able to find an entrance into the legs late in that round. But this is different now. This is a more traditional half guard position, right, Jake?
Yeah, and he's got a good Glock underneath the back, for at least momentarily. But Iago now connecting his hands. He's got the head control, does not have an underhook. He's got to watch out because Nicolas de Souza might be able to get on his left side and utilize that underhook a little more deeply.
Really putting a lot of pressure on through the face. It looks like he's got not an underhook on the far side. He's just got the kind of like a nice tight lock. He's got the crossface now, trying to push on that leg. He wants to free that trap leg, but that lockdown doesn't make it easy to do so.
just inching his way forward here on the top. But that lockdown preventing a lot of movement. One of the ways you can deal with the lockdown is by getting this deep head control and sitting on your right hip. That's going to make the angle of the lockdown a little bit different. And then you can scoop with that bottom leg on the ankle to bring your foot out. So you can use that right foot, just scoop it underneath, pull on that left foot of Nicholas de Souza and extricate his leg. But again, easier said than done. And now passing possibly into the mount. We'll see.
Nearly cleared that leg. Yes, he does.
And he does, but a big bump.
Doesn't secure it, but he goes onto the back. Body triangle. Oh, that's going to score. That is good work there from Aiga Martins.
A lot of time to work from this position as well, Howell.
Yeah, he got the 3 points for the back control. And
and that might be
he's
it.
on the rear naked choke, looking for it.
I spoke a little too soon, but my goodness, that was close.
Very comfortably controlling here from this body triangle position. And this is about as bad a position as Nicholas de Souza could hope to be in. And Aiga Martins has got all the time in the world, can just leisurely try and crack through those defenses. Just a little less than 2 minutes remaining in this second round here.
Getting a little bit closer with that left hand now. Now just opting both hands over. But he needs to be careful. Whenever you eliminate your body control in favor of head hunting, you do lose control over the body. And so you need to be careful, but look at that.
Trying to get under that chin, but Nicholas de Souza is, so far, he's proven to be very tough from this position. He's hand fighting well. He's keeping his chin nice and tucked.
Well, there's a lot of gravity in this situation. He's won round one. If he manages to pull through this round, then he at least has a shot at round 3.
He's punched the face. He's punched the forearm across the throat here. He has to switch sides again. Aggressively fighting for that finish from the back is Aiga Martins. Oh, he's across the jaw now. Oh, he's really digging in deep here, trying to find any kind of opening. It's not easy to do, right?
Not at all. And, you know, the body triangle is locked a little more awkwardly now. I don't even think he actually fully has a body triangle anymore. So the angle has definitely changed. And de Souza's doing a great job of just weathering this storm as well. I mean, he needs to, in this situation, to punch this to a round 3. Really trying to get that choke.
Yeah, man, that is impressive from Nicholas de Souza in being able to withstand just the onslaught from that back position. But that's 3-0 to Aiga Martins.
Round 2 goes to Team Pirâmide.
Vencedor do segundo round, Team Pirâmide.
So it's 1 round apiece, Jake, because the first round went to Nicholas de Souza 2-0 because of the sweep. Second round went in favor of Aiga Martins 3-0 because of the back take. So we're basically tied at this point. We will go into the final round, and whoever wins this round will win the match.
A lot of pressure in this round on Aiga Martins. A lot.
Well, yes, because remember that if Nicholas de Souza wins this one, then VOOK will advance through into the finals. So Aiga Martins, everything rests on his shoulders. And to be honest, it's not an easy task, because if Pyramid want to go through into the finals, they have to win every match now from here on out. They can't afford to lose anymore.
And it's silent in here now, Hal.
Yeah, there's a lot of focus from the crowd. I mean, they're watching because, you know, one thing that we may be anticipating here is that Nicholas de Souza has pulled guard twice at the beginning of each round. I'm wondering if he's going to do so again. And I am somewhat intrigued that Iago Martins, you know, hasn't decided to come out and try to score that quick takedown like we saw the Kasai guys do. And, you know, anytime they came out into a second round, score, get up on the scoreboard quickly. Because in a match as close as this one, it would make sense for Iago Martins to try and get an early points lead. Opportunity has passed. We're now almost 1 minute into the no points period. Of course, only takedown points would score during the first 2 minutes of each round. And we're going to actually, we're going to have a talking to from our referees. There's a penalty against both men because you can't fight for a whole minute without actually attempting a takedown, right, Jake?
Yeah, fighting without fighting. Yeah, definitely. I think that they're both feeling the weight of the moment. I think that they're trying to make the best move possible. I mean, one wrong move at this level of jiu-jitsu really can be the entire round or the entire fight in some instances.
It really can. Really, really can. I think the margins for error are so slim in a match of this. Well, the gravity, because the result is so important for Iago Martins. Of course, Nicolas de Souza, you know, if he was to lose, then of course there's more opportunities for VOOK to win. But Iago Martins, he can't make a mistake. He can't lose this match. Because if they do, or if he does, that means that his team are out.
Oh, big shot. Sprawled on.
Telegraphed a little. From the outside, dropped his hands, reached them out wide, and has gone straight into this front headlock. Nicolas de Souza has a pretty decent control right here. Could snap him down, could break posture.
He's got the chin strap. It's kind of hard to tell from this angle how deep that chin strap is. Martins is fighting to get back up to his feet from here. Oh, look at this, fighting for the guillotine. Dipping through.
I like that sequence. This opens up a path to the back. He's got the seatbelt now.
Oh, and he's got the hooks.
Hooks are in, and he's on the neck.
That could be it.
We could see VOOK go through here. He's looking for the rear naked choke.
That hand looked ready to tap, Howell, but this is a rear naked choke opportunity.
Switches sides briefly. Iago Martins is defending as best he can. But de Souza is on the back, body triangle, 3 points to 0, and he has just under 2 minutes to work from here. Iago Martins needs to do something special now. He needs to dig deep, he needs to escape, and he needs to score back. Otherwise, Pirâmide are out, and VOOK will go through.
We've seen the ability of the Pirâmide guys just able to find a leg lock. If he can put together all the effort he has left from this match, get out of this back control, and really dig deep into the bag of tricks, he's going to need that. But, man, back control with the body triangle is such a hard hole to dig yourself out of.
It really is, especially if they're doing that kind of the whole anaconda thing and squeezing the life out of you at the same time, because you can hold with the body triangle, but if you want to put a lot of pressure through the ribs and through the torso of your opponents, you can make it very uncomfortable for them, can't you?
Crowd coming alive.
Nice hand fighting here from Iago Martins. He's doing his best to strip the grips. The problem is that, you know, he's doing his best to try and get a shoulder between them, get his back to the mat. Not easy. That body triangle is extremely tight. Oh, look at the smother. Nicolas de Souza, yeah, going straight across the face there.
He was straight up gripping the face.
Yeah, you're not allowed to squeeze, but you can put a lot of pressure through that. You can't use the claw grip. Man, that smother, we're seeing it again and again, aren't we? About how effective a technique it can be.
Well, could this be it? Folks getting excited.
Yeah, Team VOOK Elite, they're really animated in their corner there. In the coach's chair for this match, as well as, of course, Melky Galvão. Nicolas de Souza is his direct student. But he's here on the Team VOOK. Oh, look at that. Martins is out. But the clock will run down. End of the match. And VOOK go through into the final. Look at him run over in front of showboating in front of the Team Pyramid. The points win for Nicholas de Souza. Puts Team VOOK through into the final after winning 4 matches.
Your winner by points representing Team VOOK Elite, Nicolas de Souza.
E o vencedor por E o seu adversário no corner azul, representando o time Pirâmide, Jonathan Cardenas.
Okay, so in the all black, David Mateus dos Santos from Team VOOK Elite. In the black and white is Jonathan Cardenas representing Pirâmide. Jonathan Cardenas, he competed yesterday, lost his match to Juan Gabriel on points. Close match. It is, we saw David Mateus dos Santos go against Juan Alvarenga yesterday. He lost his match on points, but one thing that we knew, or we can say about David Mateus dos Santos is, man, he has just one of the most flexible guards we've ever seen, right?
Yeah, we see that a lot of competitors today and throughout this weekend, is this crazy ability to find. We see that on people like Shea Montague as well, right? That super flexible guard. It's something that a lot of people at these lower weight divisions have, and that's why you don't see a lot of guard passes at the lower weight divisions.
Double-seated guard pull here. Just hand fighting, though. Not really a lot happening. And to be honest, if I was these guys, knowing that, you know, the official result is already confirmed, I think, man, why not go out there and just fight hard? You know, why not just go out there and put on a show? Because there's nothing to lose on either side here, right?
It's hard to unwind that as a competitor, though. You know, I think that when you're used to competing a certain way, when you spend hours and hours and hours training a certain way, you know, some people have that switch where they can go, you know what, let's go out there and try something new. Let's go have fun. It doesn't matter anyway, win or lose. I can go out there. But I think a lot of people also value winning on the big stage. Think about petitioning for super fight shows, petitioning for your next big opportunity. This is a stage by which you can do that. And in this situation between Jonathan Cardenas and David Mateus dos Santos, they both have the opportunity to add something to their resume, to put something on their demo reel, if you will. So I think that is still why they might want to win, but I am on your side. I think that go out there, put on a good show for the fans, for the people watching at home on Flow Grappling, for Acai Republic, who Aiga is brought to you by.
So, interesting that David Mateus dos Santos is the first to come up. And you know what? We didn't see him in this position at all in his match yesterday against Juan Alvarenga, because he exclusively played for the full 15 minutes, the full 3 rounds. He exclusively played from bottom, playing guard. And Juan Alvarenga was energetically, enthusiastically trying to pass the guard. But now, we'll see a different side of David Mateus dos Santos. Maybe he has something else to show us, because Jonathan Cardenas is not chasing after his opponent so much right now. To be honest, we're almost 3 minutes into this match, and I gotta say, I'm surprised at the lack of action from both sides. There hasn't really been any meaningful attempts at passing or sweeping or anything just yet.
Yesterday, when we were watching David Mateus dos Santos against Juan Alvarenga, you don't really have any choice but to play a defensive guard against Juan Alvarenga. You are hard pressed to find any offense on that guy. And I think what we're seeing right now, maybe we will see some more aggressive passing out of Mateus dos Santos. It's just, I think that they're both maybe being a little bit too aware, right? I think that they both possess a very dangerous game. And we see it right here. Look, Jonathan Cardenas now trying to elevate. But in round 2, I would like to see them both open up more. But look at this. Mateus dos Santos sits down.
He's He's got an ankle lock control. I can't see the leg configuration from our vantage point, unfortunately, though. But Leonardo Cardenas was hand fighting. He was making sure to deal with those grips. So they're back into this double-seated position. Leonardo Cardenas has made absolutely no effort to come up on top or to attack for sweeps from bottom. And there is a roll through,
look at
a
that.
look at a leg entry, and I think he's managed to put himself into. It's almost like he went for a rolling false reap from top, actually. He does, yeah. He's in kind of a false reap position.
It seems like he's got a good look on this footlock.
I don't think the foot is out. I can't quite see from our vantage point, unfortunately. Oh, he's got an ankle lock on the free leg.
Oh, very interesting. Cardenas gets his leg out of there.
Now Cardenas is on top for the first time. But interesting, look at the way that he actually steps his leg in and then sits back. Well, that's the end of the first round, and that's 0-0.
Round 1 declared a draw.
Round declarado empate.
Rather uneventful first round. This is, of course, match number 6 out of 7. Still have the big boys to come, the heavyweights. Eli Braz and Antonio Asef will follow up in this one after this match.
You know what I've realized, how is I believe we're going to see a matchup between Roberto Jimenez and Antonio Asef.
You mean Eli Braz? VOOK have classified.
Oh, you're very right. I'm wrong about that. I'm incorrect.
I would have loved to have seen that.
Don't listen to me.
I would have loved to have seen
You're right,
Roberto
Eli
Jimenez go against the 290-pound Antonio Asef, but he's going to have to go up against the rather slender 250-pound Eli Braz.
Yes. No, I did not. I was just looking at the name, and I made an incorrect call. Back to the action.
To make. Well, it's an interesting takedown attempt there, but I am internally, there you go, counting down the seconds before they went for a double guard pull, and it's exactly what happened. But this time, different. Cardenas actually comes up on top. Maybe we'll see him play to pass. But if Juan Alvarenga couldn't pass the guard of Dos Santos, man, Cardenas will have to do something spectacular to try and get past that flexibility.
Not out of the realm of possibility, but I am interested to see what kind of notes he took from watching that match, because I imagine he did in preparation for this semifinal.
Cardenas circling, posting on the head, trying to control the hands. And, you know, we saw Juan Alvarenga yesterday. His approach to passing the guard was very different, because everything was about getting grips of the legs and then explosively trying to move around them. And every time he did, it was just really impressive to Santos' ability to recover by bringing the top leg in and over the top and between them. Incredible hip flexibility. Cardenas is, you know, the pace of his guard pass is a lot less explosive. A little
Much
more,
less committal too.
Yeah, a little. How can we say he's just feeling out the guard, but you're right, he's not really committing deeply to any guard pass attacks here.
Well, Ruan, what's interesting is we had seen this kind of when we made the official announcement after Team VOOK Elite won that round. Ruan limped onto the stage. It seemed like he had seriously hurt his knee, possibly in the match. And
He
so
did have to explode out of some leg entanglements, didn't he? Could have been maybe in that.
Oh, but look at this, how got a little tight for a second. But Mateus Dos Santos rolling.
Oh, this is better for Dos Santos. This is basically what he wanted against Juan Alvarenga yesterday. First time he's able to get into this, looking for possibly outside heel hook. He's got a foot on the hip. Oh, but
Oh, but look at this.
50-50. Cardenas manages to extract his legs from the position. Back up in this outside guard passing. Dos Santos just so comfortable playing from his back. But it's pretty obvious what he's looking for. He doesn't go for any upper body attacks, right? Doesn't control the upper body, doesn't look for arm bars, chokes, or anything from bottom. But it's very, very clear that he really favors going for the legs, the leg entanglements.
Yeah, I would say that too. I would say that for both, actually. It seems like it's kind of a battle of that, and that's why we're not seeing very committal guard pass attempts. I think that David Mateus dos Santos, he's not even really setting up the arms, like you say. He's not really setting up the arms to even go for the legs. It seems like a straight-up leg-based attack. Very flexible guard, and I'm sure he has solid fundamentals, but what we've seen throughout the Aiga Champions League Brazil qualifier is that he is primarily a leg hunter. And the same thing for Jonathan Cardenas. I don't even believe in his match yesterday we saw too much of his passing.
Look at the way that he had his control of Dos Santos's right ankle, and he was just basically framing, driving it through into the torso, and there was absolutely no, sense of discomfort at all from Dos Santos on bottom. He was just happily hanging out there. Cardenas trying to thread his hand through for a DOS choke there briefly.
There's a smooth little transition to a leg drag. It was kind of sneaky. You didn't really notice it. Oh, but look at this. Mateus dos Santos trying to wrestle up and sits back down. It's going to be...
Well, he timed it well. He looked at the clock, and there was only 10 seconds left, and he tried to come up, but that round will end as a 0-0 draw.
Round 2 declared a draw.
Segundo round, declarado empate.
All right, third and final round now. Sixth match in the 7-round series between Team VOOK Elite and Team Pyramid. In the black is David Mateus dos Santos. In the black and white is Jonathan Cardenas from Pirâmide. You know the name, the Pyramid Grappling Association? You know where it comes from, Jake? Comes from the gym that they train at. It's kind of like a loft with, the eaves of the roof as their ceiling. It's something of a pyramid shape, so they decided to call their gym or their team Pyramid Grappling.
Oh.
Yeah. Quite a unique gym environment. It's very distinctive when you see the videos and the photos from inside there. And they've got quite a good training environment, you know. They're based in Barra da Tijuca in Rio de Janeiro. And they are one of the only teams, one of the only gyms in all of Rio de Janeiro to focus exclusively on no-gi grappling. They made that choice a few years ago because there are, of course, no-gi gyms in Rio de Janeiro and Brazil. They generally tend to be luta livre gyms. But they are not a luta livre gym. They are a jiu-jitsu gym who have decided to focus on no-gi. And they've also attracted people to come and train there from other local gyms, such as GF Team. Of course, Antonio Asef, who will compete next, is a GF Team member. Patrick Gaudio, Victor Honorio. Many members have gone through the gym. That's how high level the training room is.
Now, Mateus dos Santos in on the leg. Not really clear how much of a bite he has on it.
Yeah, Jonathan Cardenas, his ankle is definitely out of trouble. He's trying to drive forward with the knee, but kicks it back. Back to that outside passing. It's very reminiscent of the match with Juan Alvarenga yesterday, but points now active. That means we've got 3 minutes left in this round.
Just about the halfway point of round 3. Remember to stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, because next is going to be the last bout of this block between Eli Braz and Antonio Asif. Following that, we're going to have a halftime show, actually, Hal. Aiga has a halftime show.
Very cool. Can't wait to see it. Yeah, we had a display of some traditional Kazakh dancers and drummers when we had the Aiga Champions League final last December. Did you have one in Turkey?
No.
Oh,
no.
Interested to see what they're going to choose in Brazil, because there's, you know, plenty of rich culture here. Ooh, look at this.
Interesting.
David Mateus dos Santos comes out of that leg exchange with a wrestle up. If he can put Jonathan Cardenas down, could score from here because he started on bottom. And a great sense of urgency in trying to finish that wrestle there. He goes through to the, just guard pulls off it and actually gets hit with a penalty.
Very
That's
interesting.
the second penalty of the round. He's now 2-0. Oh, it should be 0-2 because those penalties basically negative points.
That's going to put Jonathan Cardenas in the lead.
Because the last 2 rounds were draws, yeah.
They accidentally give Jonathan Cardenas 1 point on the scoreboard.
Yeah, that's been rectified. 45 seconds remaining in this match. As we said, the Team VOOK Elite, their participation in the finals is confirmed. That'll be coming up later against Team Kasai. So you have to think as well that maybe this match from David Mateus dos Santos, maybe he's thinking, you know what? I have to compete later against the strongest team in this bracket. Maybe he's thinking, I'm going to reserve as much energy as possible for that really important encounter rather than waste it here in this match where, of course, the result means something, but the overall result has been secured.
It could be.
Could be. It's the end of the match.
Your winner by points representing Team Pirâmide, Jonathan Cardenas.
E o vencedor por pontos, representando o time Pirâmide, Jonathan Cardenas. O adversário no corner azul, representando o time Pirâmide, Antônio Assif.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the final match of this second semifinal. Remember, don't go anywhere. after this match will be a capoeira performance, followed by the drawing of lots for our final. And look at that, Antonio Asef pulling guard right off the bat on Eli Braz. Antonio Asef had a amazing, I would even say, knee bar submission on Adam Nabawi yesterday. Off of getting snapped down, a very powerful snap down. Immediately rolls for the knee bar. Asef, such a strong person. I think he weighed in actually on the scales in U.S. weight of 190 pounds. Or sorry, 290 pounds. Wouldn't be as impressive if he was 190 pounds. But Eli Braz in a great position to continue to push forward. Advancing a little further, Eli Braz. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen, a little bit of a technical issue there. Now passing over into the mount, Eli Braz.
Well, that's significant, Jake, because, of course, that mount came within the point section. So on top and in control and putting a lot of pressure through Antonio Asef. And I'll be honest, you don't see a lot of people put Antonio Asef in this kind of position.
You know, he pulled guard right off the bat, which is very surprising to me. I thought that he would probably try to play the long game a little bit, maybe, drain a little time off the clock, kind of like how he did with Adam Nabawi. Very patient, but ends up on his back and now in a very tough spot.
Yeah, Eli Braz, really strong control here. I love the way that he's managed to get those up so high. Those elbows, just, wow, they're a very compromised position. And we've seen this kind of smother position.
The tough thing is he needs to be careful. I think he wants to ride his knees high and potentially go for an arm bar.
But against a guy like
exactly,
Asef.
That's the thing, is the upper body strength of Antonio Asef does not make that safe.
Yeah, because you're going to straddle a guy that large, the chest that wide. Your base is going to be so wide, yes, but at the same time, your hips won't be low because he's so thick, right? So you're going to be quite high. Your base might be compromised. Eli Braz, though, I like the way that he's got the underhook. Oh, look at that. Pin in the wrist. You could see him go mounted triangle here.
Big bump.
Just over 1 minute to work.
Man, just keeping that pressure forward. Oh, trying to turn this to an arm triangle. That's the plan.
Well,
Eli
that
Braz.
is the submission that he hit yesterday in his match. But Antonio Asef manages to recover half guard in that sequence. Eli Braz kind of close to hitting a knee cut from here. So impressed with the way that he's able to maintain control over an opponent who does outweigh him by about 30 kilograms. Eli Braz weighed in at 103 kilograms. Antonio Asef, 132 kilograms. You know, that is a big weight difference because 30 kilograms, believe it or not, is 66 pounds. Okay, so end of the first round. And Eli Braz takes that one 2-0.
Round 1 goes to Team VOOK Elite.
Vencedor do primeiro round, Team VOOK Elite.
Ten seconds remaining in this rest period. I do wonder what kind of advice the Pyramid guys are going to be giving Antonio Asef. Because, you know, he spent the entire first round on bottom, basically on the defensive. There's a chance here to come out and do something different now.
Let's see if he opts to pull guard again.
Yeah, I don't think he will. If Eli Braz was able to pass so effectively in that first round, probably will think twice about, you know, putting himself in a potentially dangerous position.
Antonio Asef apologizes for the slap he just delivered to Eli Braz.
Good sportsmanship.
It was definitely a slap too. It was not a collar tie. Well, look at this.
Yikes. Gives his back in the clinch. And you see that? His teammate, Jonas Lisboa, was holding his hand out like, don't fall on me. Antonio Asef gives him a high five.
That's good sportsmanship out of Antonio Asef.
Restarting the center of this rear body lock now. Look for Antonio Asef to try and either reverse this position for Eli Braz to run him down. That's what he does. Nice little kind of chop away with his knee. Gets him to this 4-point position. Drags his hips to the mat. Oh, and he slips the near side hook in. I like the way that Antonio Asef was able to take that out.
He's got a great base. Just trying to find an opportunity, Eli Braz, to get his hooks in. And you got to think as well, it'd be very difficult to choke somebody like Antonio Asef.
Yes.
You got no neck.
Yes. I don't know if I've ever seen him lose via a choke that wasn't in a gi match.
And I feel like a prerequisite to choking somebody is that they have a neck. And Braz, even not even really wanting to put his hooks in, he hasn't really actually even motioned to try it.
A little more urgency from the corners. They're really calling for Eli Braz.
Oh, look at this.
Wow, hammerlock style. That was really interesting. The wrist control, he ran all the way around. Some nice Granby there and rolling through to recover guard. Antonio Asef puts himself into a better defensive position than he was before.
Eli Braz looking for an opportunity to pass from the outside. Very loose.
And you know, considering you don't see a lot of big men play that kind of bottom game, it's interesting. Only Antonio Asef, rather than play guard, he comes up to turtle and avoids conceding the pass points. But still 2-0 down. Less than 2 minutes remaining in the second round. Eli Braz just playing a very nice game there of allowing Asif room to move, not taking off too much pressure, just enough for Asif to adjust position, but then puts the pressure right back on and lands in this really nice half guard position.
It's one of the things about competing in somebody much, much heavier and stronger than you is having the ability to sort of keep control while relinquishing what's necessary for you to still remain active. That's very important. Now look at this. Passing all the way into the mount again.
Full mount again, 5-0 now for Eli Braz.
Jacking up the elbows of Antonio Asif. Could have been looking for an Americana on that side for just a second. Now resorting to just jacking up one side. Got that with his own right arm. And Antonio Asif trying to bump, but every time he bumps, the elbows go a little bit higher. Just 20 seconds.
Wow, there's the end of the round. 9 points to 0 that time.
Round 2 goes to Team VOOK Elite.
Segundo round, vencedor Team VOOK Elite.
Okay, here we go, Jake. Third and final round. In this very last series, the match between Eli Braz and Antonio Asif, the final of 7 matches between VOOK Elite and Pyramid. Of course, VOOK Elite have qualified for the final against Kasai. First round, Antonio Asif pulled and got past. Second round, Eli Braz was able to score a takedown from the clinch. Let's see what happens in this third round, whether we'll see takedown attempt from Antonio Asif.
Yeah, we didn't see that very much, like an actual concrete takedown attempt in his match versus Adam Nabawi yesterday.
We didn't, it's true. 2 full rounds, we didn't see any takedown attempts from him.
We saw him on the receiving end of a couple double underhook situations, but Eli Braz, the very first time he got that double underhook situation, he actually did what we thought would be a good idea for Nabawi to do and go around to the back. And when he did that, he was able to drag to the floor and start to impose some more positional dominance on Antonio Asif.
Head to head, Braz had a collar tie, but now Antonio Asif gets that inside grip. Swimming collar ties here.
Oh, look at this. My goodness.
Yikes. I think that was really lucky because not only was our referee Max in the way to catch them, but I think Eli Braz in catching that rear body lock helped Antonio Asif from not having been pushed off. He kind of held him back from falling.
You see the entire Pirâmide grappling team was like, no, no, no.
Not again.
Oh, that's right. That did almost happen yesterday as well. tape flying off the fingers in these wrestling exchanges. You brought this up in an earlier match in this block, that Team Pirâmide and Team VOOK Elite, you know, it's already, these are sort of formalities. And you got to think for Eli Braz, knowing that he's going to take on Roberto Jimenez next, how much energy does he want to exert trying to take down the bigger, potentially stronger Antonio Asif?
That's absolutely right, Jake. Eli Braz does have a about 10 kilos weight advantage over Roberto Jimenez, but you know, we know about the speed and the acceleration and the gas tank of Roberto Jimenez, so I do think it makes sense that Eli Braz conserves as much of his energy as possible for the next round. And of course, one thing we also have to consider, oh, there is an attempt at the takedown, have to consider is that the order of the matches in that final as well is to be determined, because we'll have another random draw. And Eli Braz, he could find himself having to fight first. And, you know, that means that his rest time between matches, well, of course, Roberto Jimenez competed. He was one of the first matches in his, excuse me, no, he was the final match. Yeah, the very first match in the series between Kasai and Andinho. So he's had a lot of time to rest. You know, the whole round, that match, the two teams, and the whole second round as well between VOOK Elite and Pyramid. As you said, we will have a halftime show, so there'll be a little bit of time for Braz to get his rest, but if he has to come out and fight first round again, yeah, that would definitely put him at a disadvantage. But that's why I do like this random draw between the matches, because you can't strategize for it. You just have to be prepared and be ready to go.
Yeah, any strategy at all would have to happen in the moments following the draw, right? You're talking to each other, hey, okay, cool, it's you. Not a lot of time to game plan.
No, indeed not. Which is why I think the relationship between the teams is so important, because, you know, you've got to have a bunch of guys with you that you trust implicitly to give you the right information at the right time and make sure that they're giving you guidance and helping you formulate that game plan and supporting you throughout. This is why I love these team competitions. It's very different to what you may see. You know, it's basically each match is treated like a super fight, but the team aspect does add a whole new element to it.
And these competitors find out their teams months leading up to Aiga. So they have time to get to know each other, have time to communicate in group chats, have time to maybe even meet up and strategize. Like, it is becoming more and more professional. It's very cool. All you see is the time that you're spent here, right? You think that they're not just bringing people out here and being like, all right, cool, you're on a team. They know in advance. And it makes for a very interesting team dynamic. That's why you see teams so tight-knit. Look at Pirâmide, so tight-knit. Every one of the competitors are here supporting Antonio Asif. All the competitors from Team Kasai who will be in the final, they come from different academies down in the United States, most of them. And yet, they're very tight-knit because they've been talking with each other. They've been becoming friends through this whole process.
Together, yeah.
Oh, do not come into us. Okay.
That's the end of the match. 0-0 in that round. But the overall victory will go to Eli Braz on points.
Your winner by points, representing Team VOOK Elite, Eli Braz.
Fala galera, então a gente está chegando aqui no final do evento. Infelizmente a gente perdeu agora pro time da VOOK. Algumas coisas deram errado, né? Algumas teorias que a gente achava que a gente poderia ter a vitória em certas categorias não houveram. Tivemos a chance durante a luta, né? Mas é aquele ditado, né? Se a gente não faz, a gente pode receber a derrota, né? Então a gente perdeu algumas oportunidades, mas isso são coisas da luta, por isso que torna o esporte tão legal, que você nunca consegue prever com total certeza o que pode acontecer. Mas no balanço geral foi muito bom. A gente teve uma ótima atuação, independente de ter perdido também hoje. A galera lutou muito bem com coração, com técnica. Então, só tenho a elogiar todos que participaram, todos de parabéns. E é isso, agora a gente está vendo aqui a final. E é sempre bom estar vendo para estar aprendendo e evoluindo, né? não adianta a gente ficar puto, alguma coisa disso. A gente tem que buscar o próximo dia estar sempre melhor. Então é isso que a gente vai estar fazendo agora.
Pô, quero agradecer o convite aí do Pedro e do Marco, né? Por me deixarem fazer parte desse time, né? Pude ajudar o time no camping e aqui nas lutas, né? Pô, quero agradecer também, pô, toda a equipe, né, que tava, né, unida na casa, com uma energia irada. E, pô, vamos com tudo que tem mais uma temporada aí pra chegar.
A galera, também queria agradecer todo mundo aí pela oportunidade de estar competindo, de estar competindo aí esse evento de alto nível. E muito obrigado mesmo, Marco Aurélio aí e toda a equipe da Pirâmide. E valeu, tamo junto.
É na sola da bota.
É isso, galera.
Bate a bota, bate a bota.
Quero agradecer o Marcos, o Pedro e o Lucas aqui pelo convite. Foi uma satisfação imensa poder estar trabalhando com esses atletas aqui. É sempre um aprendizado, né? Independente de resultado. O que importa é a gente ver com a vontade de vencer, né? Vencer o peso. Tentamos vencer as lutas. Independente de qualquer coisa, estaremos aí para lutar quantas vezes for necessário. E eu agradeço a todos aí pela oportunidade, beleza?
Boa. Passa aqui, Braguinha. Fala aí.
O Lucas vai pular o bagulho?
Pulou.
Quer esculhambar o bagulho?
Aí é foda.
Valeu, nego.
Você é o capitão, você fala por último.
Vamos lá, galera. Então, um negócio que eu sempre falo, né? Com a equipe assim no geral, que o mais maneiro desses eventos não é nem o evento em si, mas sim toda essa experiência que a gente tem de treinar junto. A gente teve contato com galera de equipes diferentes, a gente conseguiu unir forças ali. Eu acho que isso é um negócio bem maneiro, todo mundo chegando para somar com alguma coisa, acrescentar, todo mundo aprendendo junto. E isso para mim no final é o que importa, a amizade, contatos novos, caras aí que eu vou levar para a vida toda com certeza. E para mim o desfecho foi ótimo, a galera lutou bem e novos desafios virão. Ouça bless.
Agora eu posso.
Caralho.
Boa ideia.
Você tem que finalizar, pô. Tem que finalizar.
Não, só mais um nisso aí. Eu nem lutei, eu tô, pra mim foi ótimo pra caramba, assim, ver todo mundo treinando aí, lutando, se dedicando. Pô, a gente fez uns camps, a gente teve encontro de treinamento aí antes do campeonato. Sempre bom conheci bastante gente nova, tive relacionamento mais próximo de pessoas que eu já conheci, até que já lutei contra, né? Então, assim, eu acho que a mensagem, assim, só para finalizar, assim, eu acho que eu prezo muito na luta, né? Porque é um esporte de combate, então você sempre muitas pessoas acham que você tem que odiar o adversário, né? Eu encaro mais isso como um jogo, na verdade, não como uma briga. Então, assim, independente, assim, se eu já lutei, se eu vou lutar com alguém, eu nunca vou criar um sentimento ruim pela pessoa. Eu já lutei com vários caras aqui, então já ganhei, já perdi. E assim, eu não tenho aquele negócio de, eu vou falar mais com esse cara porque eu perdi ou que eu ganhei. Então, assim, eu acho que lá dentro é uma coisa, eu sempre sou a favor de um fair play, né, de um jiu-jitsu leal. Então, se tiver tudo isso, pra mim tá tudo certo. E é isso, cara, é só agradecer, é um orgulho imenso aí ver vocês lutando, pela gente, assim, né, pela equipe, assim, vocês são sempre, pra mim, vocês são, no meu coração, vocês são Pirâmide, independente da academia que vocês representem. Eu acho que o jiu-jitsu sempre é uma grande família. Então é isso aí, só agradecer aí, cara. O resultado é consequência, né? Todo mundo deu o seu máximo. E é isso.
Boa, fala aí, Braga.
Eu achei que o Marco ia falar por último. Pode até me pedir desculpa no vídeo, porque senão vai falar que eu fiz. Primeiramente agradecer. E tem algo que eu falo que eu gosto bastante, que é faça tudo que está sob o seu controle. Eu tenho certeza que todos que estão aqui fizeram aquilo que controlavam. Que seja na dieta para bater o peso, que seja no camp, que seja aqui lá dentro da arena. Então acho que a sensação é essa. O resultado a gente não controla e é um esporte que entram dois e apenas um vai ter o braço levantado. Felizmente às vezes é o nosso, infelizmente não. Mas o que fica daqui é toda a experiência. Acredito que todo mundo de alguma forma vai sair mais maduro para próximas experiências também. E eu tenho certeza que todo mundo vai deitar a sua cabeça no travesseiro e falar assim, eu fiz tudo que eu controlava. Eu acho que esse é o principal sentimento que a gente tem que levar das coisas em tudo que a gente faz na nossa vida. Sair de algo com a sensação de que eu não fiz o que eu podia, eu acho que é uma sensação ruim. Então acredito que todos que estão aqui têm a sensação de que fizeram tudo que podiam, tudo que controlavam nos bastidores para que a gente pudesse apresentar a nossa melhor versão. E é isso, né? A zebra vai retornar, aguardando as próximas oportunidades, que tem muita coisa boa por aí.
Era o tigrinho, que zebra.
Andava
o tigrinho, Tá isso, cara. Só agradecer, igual o Braguinha falou aí. Eu acho que todo mundo fez o possível, né, que estava ao seu alcance, e o impossível também para estar aqui. Se desdobraram bastante, mas como o Marco falou, eu acho muito importante isso, que a gente tem poucas pessoas aqui que não são da Pirâmide, são pessoas que vieram de outra academia, de outro canto, que se deslocaram para estar lá, para treinar, para vir dar o melhor. O resultado a gente não controla mesmo, mas acho que todo mundo deu 100% de si, acreditou todo momento. Eu agradeço o Pedro, agradeço o Marco, o Braguinha também, que entraram em contato comigo para poder fazer parte desse projeto. Infelizmente não pude estar ali no campo de batalha dentro, ali guerreando, mas todo mundo pode ter certeza que em todo momento que eu estava ali no coach, ajudando, dando instruções, eu acreditava 100% como se fosse eu lá dentro. Que é sempre o jiu-jitsu, que é sempre isso, e eu nunca deixei de acreditar em nenhum momento no time. Acredito que são detalhes, são coisas que a gente pode corrigir, que é a melhor forma, né? Mas que a gente estava unidos ali todo momento, seja na derrota ou seja na vitória, a gente estava ali levantando a cabeça, trabalhando e com essa visão de saber que a gente pode fazer sempre melhor. Então, estou orgulhoso de todo mundo lá que deixou 100%. Espero que a gente possa retornar no futuro próximo aí, lutar junto, estar no campo de batalha lá. Desculpa se eu decepcionei alguém de alguma forma. Estou sempre dando meu melhor ao redor aqui para vocês e é isso. Tamo junto.
E fala, galera. Estou muito feliz em fazer parte desse time que é a Pirâmide. Queria agradecer quem me ajudou de dentro e de fora do tatame. A minha família que me deu suporte e a família Pirâmide que me deu muito treino, me ajudou a estar aqui completamente preparado e me ajudou muito a eu mostrar esse meu trabalho que eu consegui mostrar nesse evento. Queria agradecer a todos aí, todo mundo treinou muito, todo mundo se dedicou muito, todo mundo estava muito bem focado. Eu acho que todo mundo teve um ótimo desempenho nesse campeonato e é isso, estamos aí nos próximos aí, com certeza vai ter outro campeonato para nós.
¿Posso falar espanhol? Sim, espanhol.
Não tem legenda não, é português.
Estoy muy agradecido. Fueron un mes entrenando durísimo en la pirámide. Yo vengo desde Chile y me pude encontrar con un grupo de grandes amigos a través de la lucha, de un objetivo en común. Nos afiatamos, nos apoyamos y realmente me siento orgulloso de poder verlos luchando y ver el nivel al que estamos alcanzando juntos. Así que agradecer al profesor, Marco, Lucas, Pedro, por todo lo entregado, por toda la confianza. Realmente no tenemos nada que envidiarles, vinimos a dar pelea, venimos a luchar contra los mejores y era la final y vamos a estar ahí dando la cara con todo, no importa contra quién.
Nossa! E aí, para finalizar, acredito que todo mundo tem um comprometimento muito grande com a equipe, da forma como foi feito, dos treinamentos e tudo junto. Eu acho que a gente pode finalizar no 1, 2, 3 pirâmide aqui, pra gente poder fechar. Vambora? Bora matar, hein? Nosso capitão. Capitão, puxa aí.
1, 2, 3,
pirâmide! Nossa! Boa!